Siren.
Here.
Sally.
I am here.
Keelan.
Present.
Walks.
Here.
Beta.
It's appropriate that she doesn't answer.
Here. Right?
Johnny.
I was going to say, not here.
Come on.
Ravenclaw.
Blessed be the Raven Queen.
And Siren.
Or Thorn.
Oh, yeah, Thorn. Why did I say Siren again? Sorry.
I don't know.
Thorn. I apologize. Good lord.
One's here.
Okay, so. Last time in Descent to Avernus, you guys continued your fight inside High Hall Cathedral, pushing back at the bandits that attacked, though the sword duel with Chani and the Barbed Devil was reaching savage heights as Chani was almost brought down, but saved by her immaculate defense and the aid of Thorn, Walks, and Siren. You guys overcame and persevered the current threat. While Thorn was searching the High Cathedral, Chani was brought forward hand in hand by Rhea, sort of inspired by Chani's battle prowess, fervor, and sort of honor, courage, and just all-around badassedness. She bade Chani to pray to Torm, god of battle, honor, courage. And Chani, thinking, this guy can't be worse than my own gods, went ahead and prayed and received a blessing as Torm healed her of her wounds. Thorn, meanwhile, found a defiled shrine. Around the shrine was pools of blood and bodies, but one body in particular that stood out seemed not to be bleeding, but more plain dead. Upon approaching, telling the body that he meant no harm, the person revealed himself to be a druid, a worshipper of Sylvanas, who was here at the time when El Tyrell was sucked into hell. He, along with Ulda Ravengard and some other people, were trying to help funnel civilians down into the catacombs where they hoped to be safe and sealed away underneath the altar of Torm. But he fears that a party of evil beings had slipped past him while he was still searching for people upstairs. Not wanting to take a chance and let these evildoers down below do any more damage than they've already done, everybody led the charge down into the altar, leaving Rhea and Lulu to sort of help with any of the survivors upstairs and sort of form a defense, just to make sure nobody else gets in behind them. The group decided to, without the aid of a rest, enter the catacombs beneath the High Cathedral. Your guys' eyes were drawn to a central room upon leaving the staircase, but Thorn and Beta thought it prudent to kind of search the hallway a little bit just to make sure the coast was clear. But not really moving slowly or stealthily, the sounds of their armor was overheard by another one of the creepy baby-faced warriors holding the massive halberd and a party of hellhounds. Beta was almost immediately ripped apart by the bloodthirsty hounds as their fire breath spewed all over her and Thorn, who was battling fervently, trying to keep everyone away from Beta, but was in very deep danger himself. During the battle, Beta's life was lost, and she was unceremoniously dragged by one of the hellhounds out of sight, while Keelan, Ravenclaw, Chani, and everybody else charged forward to aid Thorn and to try to keep another companion from being torn away from their arms. It was touch and go, but the group managed to outlast the Marigin and his 4 hellhounds. Chani, desperately searching for Beta's body, followed the blood trail, descending down some stairs into a lower, sort of meeting space room with a large table in the center. Chani calls back. She's over here! I found her! That is where we're going to pick up.
She doesn't look good! There's blood everywhere! And I think that's part of her entrails hanging out of her stomach.
And the clock is ticking.
Bring her forth. I can bring her back. It is not yet her time.
I will fling her over, my shoulder, and move as fast as I can, bringing her body,
Should clear the path for them.
and gently place her in front of Ravenclaw on the ground.
As he
And I will
sets her
go
down,
prone and cradle her head in my overlarge hands.
I'll set the diamond upon her chest, cross her arms over it, and then I'll kind of make some ritual-like markings around her and go into a prayer to the Raven Queen.
Okay. So Ravenclaw reaches forward after taking a little bit of chalk from his pocket and hurriedly scribbling runes around Beta's body before crossing her arms over her chest and placing the large diamond directly over her breastbone, close to her heart as she can get, as he starts making an invocation of the Raven Queen, begging her not to take this soul just yet. There's a moment where the light inside seems to dim, and Beta's body begins to glow.
Oh my god, I knew it!
And
What?
almost immediately, the light fades, and almost as if ripples of water echoing from Beta, there's this sort of like reality-bent ripple that shoots out against the walls, and the light suddenly floods back in from the torches, and the spell has no effect.
Okay, before I continue, I just want to...
Are the diamonds consumed?
Hold on.
The diamond's consumed, and so is the spell slot.
Now, when you said I was broke from everything, was that also because of the diamond that I tried to get and the one that
So the diamond you had would have taken most of the funds according to the money you had on your sheet, and then when we spoke about it, you would have been a little bit short. Like you were really short with getting Siren's sword. Like you guys definitely wouldn't have had enough money to get it.
So that was our only diamond then.
I believe Beta bought like a diamond earring or a set of earrings from the same merchants.
Yep.
But I don't believe it was 300 gold points worth though that you spent.
I don't think you should try again anyway.
I had $200 worth of diamond.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't have. I hold her head in my hands and seeing the Ravenclaw's spell kind of fade and not complete, I guess. I just lift Beta up and give her a big hug. And say, I thought it wasn't your time. And I look up at Ravenclaw. You said it wasn't her time. What happened?
Did any of us see the...
No,
There's nothing to see.
There's nothing to see.
Yeah. It only has a somatic component, and he doesn't need to use somatic.
Yeah,
He just
so
looked at her. And
he basically blinked. He basically
Yeah.
blinked, and he cut the tether between you and your god.
I don't see Sally, though. Does Sally have line of sight to Ravenclaw and Chani?
Sally's right here.
Oh, there's a monster there for me, so I don't see Sally. But
Yeah, that monster is Sally.
that makes sense. Yeah, there's nothing to have witnessed other than Ravenclaw's spell failed.
So Keelan will place a hand on Ravenclaw's shoulder and he's like, It's like, I know you put your face in the Raven Queen, but she hasn't had any true power in this world for many years. Perhaps she could not reach this far into Avernus.
If I can cast spells, then she can reach my whole being.
It seems that she.
This merely means that something cut the tether. Something is working against us.
It seems that maybe the Raven Queen disagreed with you, and that it was her time.
Maybe she chose to stay, to leave.
Or perhaps you can't bring the dead back while in this realm.
I just put my head down onto Beta's head and start crying.
Being as close as I am to Sally, would I have noticed anything?
There is nothing to notice, at least spell-wise. I mean, give me an insight check.
Maybe Sally's got a crooked smile on her face. I don't know.
No, Sally doesn't have anything on her face.
That's true.
I'd also like to confer with the shield and see if Avernus has some sort of effect that prevents Revivify from working.
Sally, how are you reacting right now?
I think she's holding in the laughter.
Sally is composed. She's not cracking a smile. There's nothing on her face to indicate anything. It's just, she's just kind of standing there silent, and she kind of bows her head.
Rox, you see quickly as she kind of shuffles her feet a little bit, crosses her arms and kind of straightens up her back and her neck, and you see almost sort of like a regal bearing before she just sort of lowers her head. Beta, there is a moment that you're gazing at snow-capped mountains, running your hand through tall, golden wheat, approaching what looks to be a large emerald and stone palace just within walking distance. As suddenly all light fades and everything goes dark. And in the darkness you hear the sounds of chains. The sounds of a wheel. Multiple wheels. The creaking of a large wagon. The moans and screams of anguish and pain. You open your eyes and you see that you're strapped to a long line of chained slaves. You look behind you at the sound of a cracked whip, and sitting atop a mighty wagon piled with millions and millions of dead bodies is a large horned creature.
Beta's terrified right now. Doesn't have any words because she's not even sure what is happening right now.
You hear a voice to your left. It's sickly sweet, almost patronizing. Hey there, stranger. Just arrived.
Is this thing in front of her to where she could see it, or is it just a voice from
It's off to
somewhere?
your left.
Okay.
And you turn from looking at the creature behind you, and you turned your head to the left. And there you see a tiefling. Flames coming off of her hair and off of her tail. You've seen her before. You saw her in the dungeon of the Dead Three.
I was
Great.
Ki Lim
put it in the big bowl.
called her Callista.
You can use the.
As Beta kind of perplexedly looks at her like, talking to me? Yeah. Guess you could say I'm new here.
She holds out her hand and then drops it as a whip of fire spurns to life, and she gives you the most malevolent and wicked smile you've ever seen in your life. And she cracks the rip on your face, and you feel the cut, and it bleeds, and it's almost burning with pain. And she just looks to you and says, "We're gonna have so much fun."
I have two different forms of fun, but okay, I'll take your word for it.
So, Marcy, do you have a backup character?
Yeah, I do. I haven't leveled it up to level 6 yet, but I do have a backup character.
Okay, why don't you, I guess, go ahead and work on that now?
Nothing personal, Carla. I mean, Marcy. Sorry. Nothing personal.
It's all good.
Yeah, go ahead and work on that now. Level it up, and then make the changes to your sheet. Just let me know when you're done, and then I can just look it over and we can see if we can get you in as soon as possible. If not, we might end up getting you in next episode. So we'll just see if there's a good time for you to jump right in.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
You guys are listening to the sort of silent, quaking sobs of Chani as she's kind of squeezing Beta before she just screams. And it just kind of echoes through the cathedral, or through the catacombs. What do you guys like to do?
We must keep moving. There are still people down here, remember?
Are we missing somebody?
I'm missing Beta.
No. It looks like somebody dropped out.
I'm missing Beta. I will pick up Beta's body. I don't know how much you weighed, Marcy, but
Beta is very, very tiny. She weighs 95 pounds.
okay,
She's 5'2".
Encumbrance. And if I can carry, well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to carry you if I'm encumbered anyway. I can carry up to 180 pounds, and I'm carrying 117. So 117 plus whatever you weighed. We can take your gear off, I guess. Just you and your clothes I'll carry. That's over 180. So, Mark, I'm encumbered.
Okay.
Chani, I will lower my speed.
There's a sort of mental shock as well as you pick her up, and to you, again, she weighs no more than a child.
Yeah, she pretty much weighs about the same as a child.
You're not very tall, are you?
She's 5'2", so she's the same. Think of it as like a teenager's build. Like, she's 5'2". She's tiny and very skinny.
I begin to take the time to strap her to my back like a backpack. and I will carry her until we leave to a place where we can give her funeral rites.
Well, we are in a tomb. We might find a suitable place for her down here after we secure everyone else.
I would like to cast my detect thoughts to see if I can figure out how many more creatures are down here, so we can be ready.
Let me read this.
Yeah, I know we can perform rites, but I'm not going to just leave her body on the floor of a crypt. We have to find a place that's suitably honorable to have her, I'll carry her all that time.
Okay, so you're casting Detect Thoughts to try to find out how many creatures are down here?
Yes.
I don't think that's how it works.
Can you post a spell card?
For the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures. When you cast the spell as your action on each turn until the spell ends, you can focus your mind on any creature that you can see within 30 feet of you. If the creature you choose has an intelligence of 3 or lower, it doesn't speak the language, or the creature is not affected. So it doesn't tell you what creatures are down here.
Read down lower. You can also use the spell to
I was reading
detect
about disregard.
Read lower.
What was that, Thorn?
Read lower on the spell.
Oh, thinking creatures that you can see within 30 feet. Oh, okay. The spell can penetrate barriers with 2 feet of rock, 2 inches of metal, other than lead, or a thin sheet of lead blocks you. You can't detect creatures with an intelligence of 3 or lower. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so you're not using this. You're using this to sense.
I thought he was going to use it on me. I'm like, what? Under what grounds?
So there's nothing within 30 feet of you that you can sense. But the spell is the spell concentration. Okay, but you have about 50 seconds left to choose a direction, and you have that 30 feet buffer of sensing anything.
Can't you detect the surface thoughts of all creatures around you, or do you have to direct that to a person?
But he is using this spell particularly for the setting of detecting the presence of thinking creatures that he can't see. He's not focusing on anybody.
Okay.
Unless he changes it, and I don't know if you can. It's a strange spell with a lot of things. So I don't know if he can mid detection, like cast it, I don't sense anything, and then start sensing thoughts on people he can see, if that's how it works. But I thought it was an either or.
Honestly, it sounds like an either or. He would probably have to recast the spell or whatever to do the first effect.
Actually, it sounds like I just have it on, and it's like wherever I switch my focus while I hold concentration.
Yes.
But
So according to the wording here, it looks like for the minute, so for 10 rounds of initiative, pretty much, he can either sense around him 30 feet for unseen creatures that the spell affects, or he can use an action to switch that focus on something else. When you cast the
Thorn
spell,
goes up by
it's an
himself.
action until the end of your spell ends. You can focus your mind. Yeah, so it sounds like he can choose to focus on somebody after the fact.
But as it stands right now, I'm trying to give us a buffer while we move through here. Let's choose a direction while I have this active.
Thorn, move back to where you were, please.
About there.
Give me a perception check. Now that you're sort of away from Chani's sobs and sort of Ravenclaw's kind of thinking, it's awfully quiet. And the thing you immediately pick up on is the sound of a very slight sniffling.
I'm gonna home in on that. I mean, this is what you send a robot for, so you can get rid of all the emotion, just seek out the mission.
And you're you're definitely hearing the sniffling kind of echoing, kind of from the end of the hallway as you move that way.
Do you see something down here, Sally?
This is where Thorn went, and he went off by himself, so I figured I would see where he went.
Oh, I didn't know. We shouldn't let anyone go off by themselves.
Beta, I'll move you to so you can move yourself if you want to. Actually, here I'll do this. I'm gonna give Ken control of your token, so you can work on your sheet, and then he can carry your token, so you can see what's going on.
Brad, can you repeat that, please?
That works for me.
I think I hear the survivors this way. Let's go this way.
Do I sense anything as we get closer? I know I'm probably nearing the end.
So, Marcy, I'm going to put you with me, and I'll drag you with me, so you should see what I see, okay?
Okay. Yep, that works.
There you go. Perfect. You cannot sense anything, Ravenclaw, within the 30 feet of you, and then once you get there, the spell ends. Thorn, as you're kind of moving like Robocop-like down the hallway, you hear a shh, shh, shh. Shh. It's coming from up here.
Is that...
Thorn, you reach an area encompassed by 2 torches right here. And you look and you see separate from the stone floor this sort of 2 foot high, white alabaster polished like table. And you see that there are indents going this way. About 2 feet wide, and it's sort of like smoothed, hollowed stone, like a long plate. So it's concave, like you would lay something in there. It's pretty strange. But you can definitely hear a very, like, scared sniffling coming up from up top. Chani, you step up carrying the body, and you immediately see what looks to be a underground mausoleum. This sort of indented area that you see first, your eyes drawn to, and you see that it's stacked about 10 feet high. These shelves, every so often filled with the bones and or dead, wrapped bodies of people that have been interred. And you immediately turn around, and you see a group of scared people huddled in the far corner who sort of react to your presence, who kind of shy back away. This large person with a huge greatsword carrying a lifeless body.
I take a step forward and I'll say, please don't be afraid. There are no devils among us. The irony is amazing with what I just said, but
oh god.
I say, are you safe?
I like to be carrying a dead body.
We heard the growling, so we hid and we ran. There's more of us, but we scattered. Is it safe?
The feral dogs, the dogs from hell have been dealt with, dispatched, but they took one of our own. Do you know in which direction the others scattered? We would like to try and gather you all in one place and provide protection for you.
We don't know. We just ran and held on to who we could. Keelan. As soon as you make it here, you immediately recognize and know what this is. This is an internment table. This is where bodies that have been prepared and have been sort of awaiting final funeral rites are sort of placed on this kind of table to be sort of preserved until it's time to finally either bury them in the catacomb or out in the cemetery.
So I figured this would probably be a good place to keep Beta until we have the time to do it right.
Do you say that?
Well, you seem kind of busy talking to the survivors, so I'll tell you later.
Do they seem like they're calming down, or do they still seem frightened of us?
They're looking now at you. They do see Thorn, a big, metallic, non-human entity, bearing forth a very scary-faced shield. They're very hesitant. Until Siren's like, hello.
I was waiting for Siren's pleasantness to enter the room, and then all of a sudden,
she just
calm would ensue.
She just brightens. She just immediately brightens the mausoleum.
We're good guys, I think.
Johnny, word of advice: when you're trying to convince people that we're on the good side, don't carry a body with you.
Not a body, it's Beta.
It's not just about. Thank you, Siren. I actually glare at Fox when he says that it's not. It's our sister in arms, and I will not let her go until her body can be properly taken care of.
I know. I'm just having a hard time processing it right now because we're stuck in the middle of a goddamn catacomb because some goddamn demons who just wouldn't keep their noses.
I would do the same with any of you, and then I look at Thorn and say, "Well, almost any of you." I don't think I could carry Thorn without dragging him. But I look to the girls who were, or the people. I don't know if they're all girls. They look like girls, but I say, you are safe. You have nothing to fear from us.
We were supposed to gather in the main crypt next to the holy pools, but when we heard the growling and then the flames, we just ran. There's mausoleums like this all over the catacombs. Maybe there's more people there, but we ran to this one.
Can you lead us to these other hiding places?
Do we have to?
I think that if you are safe here for now, since the devil and the demon dogs are dealt with, we could make sure the catacombs are clear. And we'll come back and fetch you so that we can go with you to the meeting. But, yeah, if Siren says that out loud, I would look around and taking in the fact that this is a mausoleum. And I'll set Beta down, kind of in front of me. I'll untie the ropes and lay her body down.
Here, this is when I'll tell Chani, if you would bring Beta over here, I can basically perform the procedure to basically make sure that she's preserved until we have time to perform the actual burial rites.
Could we at least, shove her entrails back inside her stomach and sew her up so that she's not just dragging around? That would be preferable.
He was just like, just give her to me.
So I'll walk down here. Oops. Now I can't take her out of me. Funny. There we go. Thank you. And I will lay her on the table gently, and I'll take a step back and watch Keelim work.
I just copy pasted her token, so I put a copied version there. But go ahead and keep the beta token under you, Chani. That way she can see.
I think I have to now. I can't separate the two. Oh, there she is. Okay, I got her. And after that's done, I will kind of go back against this wall over here and just lean against it and squat down, taking a rest. It's.
Do you have any water? They sort of reach out to you, Siren and Walks, as you guys are kind of there.
Oh, yes. Here.
Yes, of course. And probably try to take out the water skin and first double check to make sure that's water, not ale, which I made sure that's fine.
You open up your water skin to check, and you smell something that is not water. It's almost rancid. And you have to sort of pull away, and you kind of drop it on the ground, and as it flops, you see this sort of curdled, almost milk kind of oozing out of it in like chunks, and it is horrible tasting, and they sort of like back away. They're like, oh, and Siren, you check your water skin, and you sort of give it a squeeze, and some liquid comes up, and immediately you drop it and back out as your water skin is leaking blood.
I'll look over to I was gonna look over to Sarah's shock. Like, how did?
I don't know. The hell, fresh water turns into gross. Whatever this is.
One moment, like quickly grab the water skin, take it to like a corner somewhere, just try to dump the whole thing out.
I mean, you dump the whole thing out, and it's like squeezing yogurt out of like a Go-Gurt pack. You're just like,
oh,
it's just splooshing all over the floor.
I think that was my lunch.
You immediately check like your rations. You see that they're whole. You take a bite, and it's like you're chewing on a piece of charcoal. It just tastes like ash and grit.
Yeah, Keelan will wipe his hands off of clean of Beta's blood and take a bite, and he goes, "Yep, it's still good."
Yeah, it's like a NutriQ.
I'll check his flasks of oil.
You check your flask of oil, and it is a flask of oil. You're sort of looking at this, and then you're looking at what Siren and Walks have kind of run into, and you're thinking that any sort of organic or liquids that you brought down that are meant to be life-sustaining have been somewhat warped. Even though you guys did get the refill water from within the zombie schoolhouse, but it seems like it eventually sort of went bad.
How long of a rest are we going to take?
As long as they need. They're all pretty wounded.
Well, we should. I don't think we should stay down here all day.
What is your rush, Sally?
We are. Wouldn't you want to check on the ones above? After all, they're the ones that can only let us out.
Well, we're no good to anyone if we're dead.
There are two capable people up there watching. One was helping us fight. I'm not too worried.
I personally am not willing to leave until Keelan's work is done.
Keelan, please describe the ritual that you're doing and everything you're trying to do to sort of prepare her body.
Well, I was going to drain her of fluids, but then I forgot we don't have a bucket, so I'm going to have to skip that part. I'm basically going to just put everything that's supposed to be inside. I'm going to stitch up all of her wounds and basically make her look presentable. Unless I can see any embalming fluid or preserving fluid around here.
There seems to be nothing here. This just seems to be a kind of place where it looks like the bodies that would have, that the bodies that would have been placed here were ones that have already been sort of blessed and anointed and are waiting internment. So there's not much you can do by way of actual morgatory work. But go ahead and give me a religion check. Okay. You clean the body and sort of find a set of linens that have been kind of left, and you sort of wrap it carefully until she's just kind of a neat bundle laying now within this sort of bowl-like slot on this white marble table.
I kind of
felt that the tools, with what the tools you had, that you did a pretty good job despite of everything.
And then while I have her there, I will say my own prayer to Kelimvor, asking him to put out his hand to draw her to his throne, and may he aid her in finding what awaits her on the other side.
Go ahead and give yourself the point of inspiration. Kelim, that took you about 30 minutes. And then now you're going to begin your hour-long rest. Or hour short rest, sorry. During this rest, Ravenclaw, your mind is just flooded with doubt. You can feel the magic in your body. You can feel it coursing through your blood. You can feel her warmth and her guidance sort of reinvigorate you as you kind of meditate and think on things. But for the life of you, you just don't understand what went wrong.
As I continue my meditation and whispers to the Raven Queen, I start remembering Nevermore's not by my side. Maybe if his eyes were watching, I could figure this out.
Okay, does everybody have what they need? Hit dice rolled, all that good stuff?
Yep, as long as we were able to complete a short rest during this time, I do.
You guys begin to sort of tiredly pick yourselves up off the cold stone floor. This hour-long rest doing nothing but just making your bodies ache. You are physically to the point of fatigue. For some of you, the shock of losing a companion has left you mentally fatigued and emotionally scarred. But you sort of harden your hearts a little bit to the pain, standing resolute as the sounds of sniffling and crying innocents behind you give you a new purpose. You weren't able to save Beta, but maybe you can save these people.
Yep, I stand up against the wall, and hearing Sally's retort, I say, you're right. And I just kind of shove her aside as I move past her. And just start walking off into the dungeon, intent on finding whatever else remains.
Chani, you sort of walk and then you stop immediately, and you see before you a large wall.
Here? Oh.
And in these sort of conclaves within the wall that you immediately see, you see standing almost sarcophagi. Each one carved of a very beautiful polished wood. The reliefs carved on the edges show the bodies of what almost look to be like priestly individuals, sort of standing in sort of holy poses of repose and worship.
Are there survivor tokens, or are they just with us?
The survivors are staying in the mausoleum, as was instructed by Chani and everyone else, to stay there while you guys hunt out any other.
Okay, last I heard that they were gonna lead us to the other survivors, but never mind.
There you go. Just go ahead and highlight your token, Chani. I put her underneath you.
Yep, I got her.
Yeah, if you guys want, they can follow. Just have them be imaginary followers if you guys want to do that. The same thing with like the dwarves and the mother and the children.
I honestly did not hear them say stay here for protection.
They were sort of safe there before we got there. And we took care of the dogs that were trying to sniff them out.
Johnny, you see 3 of the very beautifully polished and artfully worked sarcophagi in each of these conclaves. Alcoves, not conclave. Alcoves, Jesus. Top form tonight.
I will not mess with them because of my superstition.
Shall we see if there's anything useful?
No. I say no.
You guys look behind you and notice that Wax and Siren are not there.
Were the other 2 not behind us?
They're saying their goodbyes to Beta.
Try not to get separated, you 2.
Mark, is it? Oh yeah, never mind. You said those things are like torches and they're all lit.
Yes. So you see now even more alcoves, even more sarcophagi. You come into this room, Chani, and it is richly appointed. There's mosaics that stretch from the walls about 30 feet up to a domed ceiling. Keelim, you step in and you immediately recognize this as a temple where rites are given and performed. You can tell that this is probably something used for very private ceremonies to honor very powerful people. So you look at you sort of look at the alcoves, and you get the idea that these must be some either very powerful people of the city or high-ranking clergy members.
Yeah, we didn't have one of these where I worked. There were only John Does and Jane Does.
You see a set of stairs leading into what looks to be another sort of mausoleum-type building. Or another mausoleum-type room inside.
Where are you going, Sally?
I'm just double checking. And
Just
I
as
will
I said to the others, don't
I will-
stray too far.
peer into the room.
You peer into the room and you see a group of 4 people huddled in a corner, sort of holding onto each other, trying to bury themselves as deeply as they can into the corner.
I look back at Ravenclaw. Found some.
I'll turn to the others. Sally found some survivors.
I will lead them back to the others. So I'll go to where Sally is.
It's okay. We are here to help.
Now that I don't have a dead body strapped to my back, I approach them and say, "She speaks the truth.
That
You
was
are
quick.
safe with us. Let us lead you to the others." There's safety in numbers, as they say.
Siren, all things considered, everything that's happened, you actually look around at these sarcophaguses and you think, like, there's like a moment where you're like, there's probably some good shit inside these. And then you kind of shake your head a little bit, like, it's not the time right now.
Yeah.
They're very hesitant, Shawnee, but they're like, okay. Keelim, as you step into there, as soon as you hit the platform, you see that there's sort of like a large funerary vase in the corner, and hiding behind it are 2 very scared children. They kind of see you walk up, and they're like, no! They kind of like try to back away.
Zombie! It's like,
I think at that scream, Bloxwell quickly draw his blade and run up where Caleb is. Like, where are they?
And then he turns and his face in the glow of his own light. It's like, oh, that's what they were talking about.
Shawnee, describe your countenance on your face. Like, what do you look like? Because, I mean, you set off with grim determination, and you kind of marched up here and said, like, come on, there's more. Like, how are you carrying yourself in front of these scared people?
I would say that she is being rather curt and kind of almost like a babysitter getting the kids in trouble if they misbehave, because she's kind of out of patience and dealing with some sorrow and hide it. I'm also out of rages but still want to rage. So that's a good way of saying it, that I feel like I could rage, but I don't have the energy for it. On the verge of cracking.
Okay, they're definitely wary of you. Sort of telling them in this very straight, matter-of-fact voice, "Come on, I'll take you to more survivors. There's strength in numbers." And you can see that they're like, "Oh no, no, please no!" And they're looking at the creepy lady with the porcelain face mask, and they don't know what to think.
Don't worry, dears.
So, like, here comes Ravenclaw with his bird mask. Yes, come with us.
We have such wonderful things to show you.
Honestly, this is like the scariest haunted house they could possibly ever have visited.
And then as for Keelim, like, does he look creepy while he's holding a lighter?
His hand's glowing, and he's holding it down like by his waist, kind of. So like it's casting that like flashlight under the chin shadow on his face.
Yeah, I'll basically just Hold on, maybe this will prove it. I'll grab his wrist and like lift it up to his head.
Yeah, now he looks like a creepy old man.
They immediately run and cling to Siren.
He's old man
Just
Herbert.
slowly put it back down and just.
I pull my hand out of Lox's grip and I go, "Can't you look like anything? What's your excuse?"
Thorn, you sort of move down, you see more alcoves, more sarcophagus. You see another sort of set of stairs straight ahead, where you can probably imagine there's another mausoleum as well as you look, and there's a hallway that cuts down.
Any luck with those survivors? Getting them to move?
Trying to give me a persuasion.
Yeah, I will try to convince them that it's in their best interest. I mean, I am a 10 charisma character, so I can't be all that charming.
Or I could.
I am rolling this with disadvantage because I'm still suffering from 1 level of exhaustion. I'm too tired to fucking deal with people.
There's a moment as you're sort of speaking to them, and there's just sort of like this sigh of like melancholy exasperation, where you're just like, I don't have time for this, come on. And like there's a sort of softness that hits your voice a little bit as your eyes kind of tear up a little bit, as you know, you're fighting hard to keep down this emotion, but you're finding that the more tired you are, the harder it is. You're a big girl with big emotions. And they kind of see that a little bit, and they kind of relax, putting it together like you guys are in the same boat. And you haven't killed them yet, so that's a good thing.
I haven't sprouted devil horns or breathed fire either, so there's that. Yeah, I just kind of, I'll kind of approach them and put my arm around one, if they'll let me, and say, I promise I will not hurt you, but you must come.
There's that moment of rescuing somebody from like a tornado that you've like uncovered like their broken home, and you've seen them kind of like trapped in a basement where they sort of cling to you, and like their hands are grabbing onto every inch of cloth on your body and just sort of like sobbing into your shoulder, as for the first time in a minute they've kind of felt safe. So they all sort of begin to follow as you lead them out.
Don't worry, Big Sister will take care of you.
Thorn, as you step up to the stairs and you sort of turn around and you see this like these old couples, everybody hears just a shout of fright. No! As they see like this sort of inhuman mechanical thing with a large shield kind of step forth. Citizens.
Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah. Thorn, give me a persuasion check.
Intimidate him. Use intimidation.
Yeah, give me intimidation with advantage.
Move, citizens, now!
Okay. They immediately stand up. They're like, okay, we'll come.
So Charlie is figuring these 4 people out. We'll kind of move out of the way.
I'll go ahead.
Yeah, I would go ahead and guide them all the way back, staying with them, just kind of going back up here to this room. I'll come back down after I see they're safe, but I would stick with them and guide them up here, and then come back down after I see they're safe.
Is anything in these small alcoves?
And those alcoves are shelves. Just imagine like the French catacombs, where they have like the little slots in the wall where they've laid bodies. You see that there are different bodies in different sort of states of decay. Some seem to be mummified just by time. Others are just dust and bones. There's some fresher bodies that seem to be kind of leaking on their shelf a little bit. They sort of look like paupers' graves, I guess you could say.
I get what you're saying. So they don't have like anything I could find useful on them. They will perform their rites, and they, I get what, like the French catacombs, like you said, and they just kind of piled them on these shelves.
As I'm walking through here, where they're doing these rites, are there any signs of any ritual bowls laying around?
Give me an investigation check. Actually, yeah, give me an investigation check because you're looking specifically for a ritual bowl. You see a large marble dais, kind of right in the middle, that's probably like, let me just draw it. Pretty big. There's no like linens or anything on it, but you can walk up and you can actually see where at one point it looks like there was like indentations left by candelabras or incense holders, and there's a small section here where it looks like a bowl would have been placed.
So a spot to do it, but not the actual bowl needed.
Yeah. It's nothing that you immediately see. Chani, as you walk past, you see that there is a hallway that takes you to the east, takes you to another set of stairs, and then you look and you see that there's another one of those internment tables, this one full of bodies that have been kind of hastily laid. And you see that it is a mishmash of commoners, knights, different sorts of lower class soldiers. There's some children that have been kind of laid there. All sort of, none of them have been given like any sort of rites or cleansing. They've just been kind of brought here, laid for like to do at a later purpose kind of thing.
Can I tell, based on the smell at least, how long maybe they've been laying here?
Medicine check. Or medicine or survival.
I'll go survival. I'm trained in that. But with disadvantage. Oh, yeah. I'm really tired.
You see some are...
I need to get rid of this exhaustion.
You see some of them are bloated, freshly killed. The gas still haven't like escaped the body yet. Some of them look to be just kind of flabby, as if the skin's starting to melt. And other ones are definitely like hardened with rigor mortis. The wounds definitely vary from body to body. Some have been bitten, some have been stabbed, some look like they've been torn apart and have been sort of hastily stitched together just to keep the bodies from falling away from each other.
Okay. So within a week or so is what I'm guessing most of these bodies. I turn around to Thorn and I just say disgraceful. It's disgraceful.
Give me a perception check, Johnny. Sally, you turn around and you see there's nothing really there. Just more alcoves. It looked like there were people here, but you do remember Thorn moving some people out. You're just getting angry now, Johnny. And it's just getting hard. It's just harder to focus.
Yep, I will spin on my heels and, well, I mean, that they're not dealt with. There's no one to deal with these. I'll come down here, see if based on the northern room. I figured this might be what I'd see. Excuse me, I don't see any... Oh, I do! There they are! Look at that! I kind of come stomping into this room, too, because I was just angry. God damn it.
You see three young women dressed in, like, young nuns' acolyte robes that sort of shriek in horror as you step up and turn. And they're all kind of battling to, like, get into a corner, and one of them's holding up the symbol of Torm, like, baiting you to stay away.
I put my hand up and I say, well, my anger is not directed at you. I am actually here to help save you. We have found several of your companions hiding in various other rooms, and we've led them to safety. See? And I turn around, seeing Siren walk up behind me. We're good. We're not devils. Come with us.
They begin to
Want to live.
Keelim, you look at the state of these bodies just kind of stacked on this internment vault, and you're just like, God, that's a lot of work. Oh, right when he stepped away. Dang it.
Our survivors up here.
Oh, how many? How many more?
3.
Yes, 3 more. That's good. Any of them hurt?
Checked. Do any of them look hurt?
They aren't hurt. They aren't hurt. And I'll say that you guys move them over towards the rest and kind of huddle them in that one mausoleum. You see that everybody you're finding is showing the wear and tear of a city that was under siege. Their clothes are dirty. They look like they haven't washed in like 2 weeks. A lot of them look like they haven't eaten in quite a while. Sally, you follow the hallway. And you see there's sort of like a horseshoe that you're following. Nobody wanted to leave the sarcophaguses, huh?
I recommended it, but nobody wanted to.
If somebody does it while I'm not looking, that's fine, but it's literally a character trait that I do not disturb the bones of the dead. That's something that was in Xanathar's, that you could pick a character trait as part of your background. What I rule.
Well,
Sally, you see the hallway split to the north here and to the south. And it also continues.
Sally.
Sally, you turn to the south. You see there's another internment vault piled with bodies to the south.
Okay.
These look like regular sort of commoners, sort of huddled together, a mix of both male and female. Siren, as you step there, there's a smell.
Huh.
It's sort of like the smell of a fountain that's been enclosed in stone, wet stone, I guess would be the better. It smells like an in-ground pool kind of thing.
Gonna stealth my way over there because I'm getting a little bit anxious.
Give me a stealth check. I believe you still have a point of exhaustion, so this will be a disadvantage. Without Beta there to help anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's still good.
Alright.
You sort of turn and look, and you're looking now at a very large crypt.
Oh.
You see here large stone columns engraved with scenes of life, but you also see in this place a bunch of alcoves, and sort of dotting the entire landscape going this way are standing, not standing, like they're above ground sarcophaguses.
Okay.
Give me a perception check.
That's pretty good.
That's really good. You hear the sort of quiet, rasping breathing of people trying to be quiet. But then above that, you hear an old, cronish voice. And she's saying something. What languages can you speak?
Common, Elvish, and that's it.
You don't really understand this language, but it's very pleasing to the ears.
Okay.
And you hear Itorma every now and then.
Area
Thorn, you
Wanda.
remember that?
Sorry, go ahead.
Thorn, you remember that this is the main chamber you guys entered, and you kind of stop, and you look to the right, and you see that there's a set of steps leading up into another kind of alcove-ish area. Ravenclaw.
Just checking once again, since I saw this area, if there's a brass brazier.
There's no brass braziers here, just a lot of dead bodies, as this is another one of the sort of body-holding vaults.
Anybody
But
find
you
any
were-
more survivors?
You were in a ceremonial chamber earlier. Walks just found what looks to be a very small boy huddled in a corner. Sally has found a group of mixed-mashed commoners. And Siren has currently found what looks to be an old lady doing some sort of ceremony that she can barely see. Thorn, you stand, and you see a plain white altar. It's a very isolated tomb, different from the other areas you've seen. And here there's no torches, but the stones themselves seem to glow. You see the body of a young woman laying on this bier of white marble stone. A great sword clasped in her hands. The body looks like it hasn't aged. The body doesn't even look like it's decaying. She looks peaceful. And if anything, beautiful.
I'll see if
Very-
I can. Oh, sorry, once again.
Just very strange that it has not decomposed. I wonder why.
Give me a religion check. The body that you're staring at seems to be blessed. As if in gentle repose. Permanently. Not decaying. Just sort of there for all eternity. Whoever it was must have been a very important person.
Who am I to disturb them now? I'll walk away.
Johnny, as you walk in, you hear the sounds of the people sort of sniffling and breathing, trying to be quiet, but you hear their shuffling behind the sort of rows of sarcophagi that go this way. But you two can also hear the cronish-like lady speaking in this melodic kind of tone. And there is a word...
Is it coming from, like, directly to the east? Oh, up behind the pillars. Okay, gotcha.
And you can hear a word that kind of sticks out to you different that you can pick up on. It's like listening to somebody speak very fast, like German, and then you hear like one word in German that you pick up on. You're hearing her speak, and then you hear the same thing. You hear this itorma, as she kind of says this word, itorma. Kilem, you see more mausoleums, and then another vault holding station for bodies.
Do I recognize that word as being part of a language, part of a ritual of some kind?
You hear Itorma, and you immediately think Torm.
Ah, the god I was just introduced to. I turn to Chani and I say, I think she's performing a ritual to the god of courage.
Are you speaking to yourself in a
Are you
mirror?
talking to yourself?
Sorry, to Siren. Did I say I said that?
Yeah, you did. I was like,
my bad. Yeah, I'm gonna start talking to myself. It's that madness that's starting to ensue. All right, so I step forward and I see this woman now. I can see her.
You see that she's holding a book in her hands, and she is dressed wearing the robes of a church acolyte. But she is very old. You probably gauge her age somewhere in her early 80s. And she's sort of holding this book in her hand, like over the pool, and she's sort of looking up to the ceiling of this cathedral, and you can see depictions of the gods Torm, Helm, Tyr, and Lathander. And these beautiful mosaics on this large kind of long domed ceiling. And she's particularly pointing the book towards Torm, and you can see that she is sort of praying and asking for help.
I'll hold out my hand and say, "Peace be with you, venerable one. We have found survivors. Do you require aid?" And I'll take a step forward.
As you kind of call out, she sort of takes the book and she wraps it around her chest, like holding it tightly as you kind of startle her, and she looks around. You can see that she's a very old, haggard woman. Like, she looks like she hasn't slept in a while. She looks incredibly tired. Her gray hair is just matted with sweat over her head. And you can see now that she kind of takes her right arm and she grabs a very small-looking mace. And you look at it and you're like, man, that's probably going to break, like, if you hit me with it. It looks something that's probably more ceremonial, that you would carry. It doesn't look like it's worth a damn, but you can see that if she has to, she'll protect herself.
I put up my hand again and say, I mean you no harm. I protect the innocent, as do my companions.
What is the name of this protector of innocence?
My name is, Sokanon Chumani, but you can call me Chani.
Her passive insight reveals that you weren't lying to her.
I'm too tired to lie.
And she kind of relaxes and she puts the mace back, and then she kind of holds the book again and she kind of bows her back a little bit, very tired. Hello, Chani. I am Feria. Feria Jinx. acolyte of Torm, though late in my years.
I'll turn around to Siren and say, I think she's safe. Tell the others there is a woman here that might need our assistance.
There's more than just one woman, and she kind of looks... It's all right, everyone. You can come out now. I think these people have come to help. And he watches, like, standing from small hiding spaces. There's probably about 120 people.
Oh my gosh.
Sort of crypt area.
120? Holy hell.
Hey.
I tried to get as many as I could in here, but as the beast started growling, some people ran off, and then there was the sounds of explosions, and there was sword fighting, screaming, crying. I told them to hide, and all I could do was pray. Pray that Torm would deliver us from this heinous sacrilege that has befallen our holy city, and he has sent us you.
Well, I can't claim to be the answer to anyone's prayers, as I have lost many friends myself. But we did find some of those that had run off, and we collected them into a singular location, hoping that there would be safety in numbers. We could lead them here if it's safer here.
Yes, lead them here. We have clean water. The basins which you see here, and you look and you see that they are like these large 20-foot, sort of these 10-foot diameter pools, and it is clear, sparkling water. Definitely looks clean, and it isn't blood, bile, or.
Holy cow! Yeah, I think I would immediately go forth to the basin and begin just cupping my hands into the water and drinking it. If you don't mind, revered acolyte, we're very thirsty, and I'll call out to my companions. There's clean water. Bring the other survivors. And after I drink a few gulps of water, I'll stand up and say, the devil and his snarling hounds have been dealt with, but not without a price. We lost one of our own, clearing these catacombs of evil.
And she begins to pray. I'm very sorry for your loss. We have lost many as well. Johnny, after you drink, you regain 41 hit points.
Whew.
Siren, after you drink, you regain 54 hit points. Keelan, as you drink, you regain 41 hit points. Yes, bring them here. Bring them here, at least under the sight of our gods. Can we protect them? How fares the city above? We haven't had much time since after the initial siege of High Hall.
Not well, I'm afraid. Devils and demons roam the streets freely, and there is one creature, at least, that we have seen that rides upon a steed and commands great fear.
I have to say it, but your city has gone to hell.
That much me know, but I do feel there is a chance to save this place. I can only thank the gods that Ulder Ravengard was here with us and was able to rally us to form a defense. Was he back? Did he return? Was he above in the cathedral when you entered?
Is that the druid's name?
No, Ulder Ravengard is one of the dukes. One of the dukes of Baldur's Gate, the duke that was here in El Turel when it fell. Which you guys found out later was a part of... what's her name? A part of Van Thamper's master plan to get him into the city and to have him be sucked into hell with the city so he wouldn't be there to oppose her and her eventual rise to power, which you guys stopped.
You haven't seen anybody like that up there.
Then something must have gone awry. He went to the cemetery. He took with him the cavalcade of his knights, some of the forces that were here to protect us once the main battle was thwarted. There is a strange, large gathering of undead in the cemetery. He went to go check it out. He mentioned something about finding the helm of Torm's sight, and he was hoping that it might help him provide some awareness into what is happening and why this was done. Keelan and Thorn, give me a religion check. Both of you know that the helm of Torm's sight is a very holy relic of Elturel, something that a lot of people have heard of around the Forgotten Realms that focus on religion and study it. Pardon me. It is said to be able to grant one a sort of audience with the god Torm himself to sort of reflect on and ask for guidance.
Can we assume that the survivors we found in these rooms, we guided back there?
Yeah. Here, I'll just drag them all. But I wasn't going to put 120 commoner tokens on the map.
That would have slowed up everything.
Yeah, sorry if I kept you guys there too long. I apologize.
I'll leave it up right way.
You think maybe they took him as well? I mean, he was a pretty high figure. Might need him for something. I don't know. If he didn't have the relic.
The relic is said to be kept in the temple beneath the chapel in the cemetery. And he was going there to see if perhaps he could use the relic to ask for guidance and to also deal with the looming threat of the undead now that seem to be rising. There's just so much wrong. I don't even know where to start. We thought that he would be back hours ago and he hasn't returned. It's been almost a whole day.
Well, I believe that would be a great place to start.
If he lives, we will do our best to find him. Can you give us directions to this cemetery?
You must make your way down off High Hall Hill. The city lies to the cemetery lies to the west. But I can't send you there, not like this. And she's kind of looking at all of you like haggard, exhausted.
We cannot keep pushing ourselves like this, else we will be the ones needing rescuing.
Perhaps you should rest. Let us protect you for a bit.
How long have you guys been down here? Like, you look like you've been at this for days or weeks. I have no idea how long. Alterel's been missing for, but it seems like a long time.
It seems a while. I mean, you guys were trapped in the city for about 2 weeks. And then you guys had like the week-long journey to get to Candlekeep. And then you guys had the extra day. So it's been over a month. Like a lot of these people have been here. And you can see like a lot of them are starving because it seems like the longer you're here, food seems to turn to ash. Everything else that was drinkable, not protected by any sort of holy magic, seems to have spoiled and or turned into something else. So I mean, it's been a pretty rough go. And you just have to kind of take a look at all the ghouls that were kind of running around the city to realize that a lot of people turned to corruption really fast and just started eating other people.
I was gonna say, did we bring that up to the others about the water?
I mean, you do see walks. You see 2 pools of extremely clean water in the main crypt room.
I think as I actually approach it, I'll just look over. Do you mind?
Help yourself, child.
Thank you. And I'll probably ignore the blank state form I'm in, just get a handful.
Walks, you get 40 hit points back.
What's in this thing?
It's just the blessed water of the poor child.
Huh. I'm not usually a religious type, but this might change me.
Life without faith is a life without guidance. I too once was a wayward soul until I finally found my faith in religion. Now I help those possessed. And I help those that need to be exorcised.
Were you one of the...
You can be of some assistance. I have been trying to keep an eye out for a type of brazier for a ritual with my god. Something that might be able to aid us down here. Have you happened to see one while you were hiding?
There's none here in the main crypt. But on the far end of the hall is the Temple of the Highest. And it is there such rites are performed. Perhaps there is items there that you might be able to use within the altar.
Sat back where I was when I saw the spot.
Yep, you're like, there used to be a bowl there. Fuck, it's not there. Let's move on. I was like, okay. Yep, it's all the way back in that ceremonial chamber with all the alcoves and the sarcophagus.
Maybe one of the sarcophagi. Shall we go look, Ravenclaw? Perhaps there's one resting with the others.
What of Seltern upstairs? He last left to look for more people.
He's the guy we found, isn't he?
That is the druid of Sylvanas.
Well, be pleased to know that he is still breathing.
Oh, bless the light. He is a good man, Seltern. Brave. Foolish, but brave. But I guess those things go hand in hand. And she kind of cracks a smile. You see Chani kind of beginning to deflate against the wall and just kind of lay down and lay her head back. Chani's ready for a rest. Sally is marching
Yeah.
on with the darkness.
I lean next to Siren, and I say, "Please don't die too, little sister." And I just slide down the wall and kind of lay my head back, almost immediately snoring.
Thorn, did you drink from the water?
Bill's not used to drinking, so he wouldn't feel the need to drink.
Okay. You didn't pour any water on your plant?
Yeah, I was gonna look back. It's like, Thorn, come look at this. This is miraculous.
Sally, you didn't want to drink any of the water?
If it has to be drunk, she doesn't want to smile in front of 120 people.
Okay.
I'll take a
Well,
sip before.
We need to get you a straw, Sally.
I'll take a sip of the water, and then while everyone's resting, I'll check that area one last time before giving up on checking down here.
Okay, so you're going to head off with Sally, who's kind of jumped out in front of you?
Yeah.
Then will sprinkle some water onto his face, kind of like a baptism or something. More like
Okay.
cleansing himself than drinking.
Okay. Alright. The water feels cool on the metal. That's about it. Ravenclaw, were you missing hit points? No?
No. More just because we've been in hell and haven't really drinking any good water.
It is crisp, it is delicious. Sally, you make your way back.
I will be back, everyone. Looking for a brazier and keep an eye on
And
Sally.
you're looking at some of the sarcophagi. Again, you walk up and you see that they are made of a very high quality, like rosewood, like ebony, black wood, stuff like that, like really expensive stuff, but all polished to a sheen. And each one sort of beautifully carved in the likeness of the people they hold within. Different from the top when you guys first entered, you see that the one down here kind of looks like a Templar. Ravenclaw, you begin to move up the stairs and you turn and see that this is the place that you guys entered.
And I open the sarcophagi.
You reach over and you try to open the sarcophagi and you see that it is locked. You look to the side and you see that there's a small sort of clamp-like switch on the far end. You sort of nimbly put your fingers in there and you sort of begin to feel it out and try to work it. Give me a dexterity check. Unless you're proficient with sleight of hand.
Sally is not proficient with sleight of hand.
Okay, so give me a dexterity check.
It's the same thing. So I'm gonna. So here, I'll just roll dex.
You takes you a minute. You get your fingers in there, and then you hear a click. You slowly open it, and you see that there is a kind of mummified body. Not like mummified wrapped, but sort of, you see like linens covering the face, and you see the body has definitely been here for a time, but it is very well preserved. In its hand, it's holding a longsword, almost like an Aragorn's like bastard sword. It's really long, but not as big as, say, a greatsword. It comes up to about his chest. Both hands are sort of gripped around the pommel, and the blade goes all the way down, and the point is like sitting in a blanket underneath. There's a couple other small effects inside. You see like some jewelry, things like that have been kind of laid on these small little shelves next to the standing body.
I was wondering, is this thing standing or is it laying down?
Yes, so they're all upright, but they're leaned back at an angle. So there's like a slight angle, and you see that the body is sort of, its back is on the back of the sarcophagus, but it's sort of standing there, kind of propped up.
I am going to grab the jewelry.
Okay. You pick up a gold necklace with a sort of inset gem on like a brocade at the end of it. The gem is ebony. And you grab a couple rings and some bracelets. So 2 bracelets, 3 rings, 1 gold necklace with ebony brooch. And it looks like fancy, high quality stuff to your noble eyes.
And I'm eyeing the sword. Can I, without damaging the hand, can I take the sword from the mummy?
You're going to have to give me a strength check.
Oh, goody.
This was the correct room, right?
This is the correct room.
I will begin my search.
You walk behind the altar, kind of cursing at yourself for not doing it the first time, and you see that there is an indentation inside with the multiple shelves, and you see that there are blocks of incense. You see that there are bronze bowls. You see that there are candelabras, boxes of candles, a couple censers that you recognize from the cultists before. Sally, you sort of grip onto a couple fingers and begin to pull, and the bone is not yielding.
Okay, I pull out my dagger and cut off the fingers.
You cut off the fingers, they fall to the ground, and now you have a pretty heavy longsword in your hand.
Alright, they will then close the sarcophagi and move on to the next one.
I'm gonna begin casting the ritual with one of the bowls to bring back Nevermore.
Okay. Sally, you open this up. It's the same thing. A warrior inside, but you see he has like 2 short swords that are crossed, one held in each hand. And his arms are crossed against his chest in the same sort of like preserved sort of state. You see he is not wearing any form of jewelry. He just has the short swords. It's a very it's a very Spartan sort of burial, but as you look at the sarcophagus, you see that this was probably once a very decorated fighter for El Terrell.
I will try to pry the... You know what? I'm not even going to try to pry. I'm going to take my dagger again, cut the fingers off, and take the short swords.
Okay, sounds good.
And then I'll close the lid, go to the next one.
Okay, you move to the next one, you open it up, and you see that this person does not have any sort of weapons, but they are wearing like jewelry. And you look and you see what looks to be somebody at one point that must have been maybe a scholar, though whatever works they had were not there. How long does the ritual take, Ravenclaw? Is it an hour?
Let me check real quick.
I will take the jewelry.
Yeah, it takes an hour, so he's not here yet.
Okay,
on this,
I'll actually
on
bring
this
this
one,
stuff back to the group and cast it there. If I can remember the way back.
All the way back.
that's what you find.
Okay, I will close the lid on this one, and then I knew there was more, and I'm going.
There's 12 total.
Going through each and every sarcophagi. The party can come looking for me if they if they are that worried.
Okay.
Nobody comes looking for you.
You reach in, and using the same motions, you unclick it, and you open it. I need a wisdom saving throw, made with disadvantage. Wisdom saving throw made at disadvantage.
I'm using my inspiration to give it normal.
I don't know.
That is a failure. You are now considered frightened as you open it up and you see this.
Oh, fuck me.
The eyes flash. You are now frightened of this creature, and it is going to make an attack with its fist at advantage against you.
Mark, are you going to put all 120 survivors in initiative?
No. They're going to cower in fear.
And you take the disengage action, you take the dodge action, you take the dodge action.
To 21.
That's gonna hit even with shield.
I need a Constitution save as it hit. Take 5 bludgeoning and 6 necrotic. I need a con save. You managed to fend off the curse. We're going to roll initiative.
Look at that! You disturb the bones of the dead. You may inherit, plague them in life. Mummies.
No, it's
Look at all
just,
that green.
it's just us. You guys are trying to rest, so you have no idea what's happening, so you don't need to roll.
Yeah, I'm not rolling initiative. I'm
alright.
sleeping.
I was
Marcy's
gonna say, and like, none of us are nearby to hear any of this.
Yeah, I didn't even see her when I went back, so I'm unaware of where she was.
Okay, Sally.
I am frightened, so I can't get closer or anything like that. I drop the long sword and short sword, and I move. I'm assuming I provoke. Even with the shield, it'll.
You take 9 bludgeoning and 15 necrotic. I need another. I think if you succeed on that, you don't need to do it, right? Yes, buddy. Nope. You're not. Yeah, you need to give me another con save.
Yeah, it's every time.
Okay, I have 1 hit point.
Once you get it, you can't get it more. But yeah.
Okay.
DC.
You just make it.
Is nobody with you, Sally?
No.
No, she went off on her own.
Wow. That's special.
I think the only person there was Ravenclaw, but then he came back.
I actually left a while after Sally, so I never saw which direction Sally went.
She just wandered off into the crypts.
I'm looking for supplies.
Sally. You can no longer see it, so you're not quite as frightened as you were.
When can I make the saves again?
You don't. You don't know what's happening to you.
Okay.
It's a curse.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I just. I double moved again.
Your turn.
Just to be safe, I'm using my last 3rd level spell slot to cast invisibility.
Okay. It's your turn. We are out of initiative.
Yeah, I'm just running.
Go ahead, keep running. You guys hear the sound of Sally panting and her feet sprinting, but you cannot see her.
Sally, is that you?
Ah, I yawned in real life. I'm yawning. Because I'm falling asleep.
That's clearly just a sit-up and rapier at the ready.
And I kind of like, mummy.
You guys hear an invisible Sally from somewhere in the room go, "Mummy."
Yes, it could be mummies and daddies. Where are you?
Back at the ritual location.
Wait, how can we hear you if you're back at the ritual location?
There's a goddamn mummy back at the ritual location.
Sally, this is a crypt. There are the dead everywhere.
They're walking.
First, where the hell are you?
Are you followed?
Did you just walk through a pool of water?
Flash, right in front of you.
A pool of holy water burst into flames.
Question is though, are you still invisible?
Yes, I am still invisible.
Oh, did you slap? If you after the first person you slap, you become visible.
No, I didn't slap. I went splash. I walked through the basin to walk right in front of walks and saying
Okay,
right in front of you.
So you step into the water and you sink about 15 feet. For you,
Oh,
no.
For you, Sally, I need a Constitution saving throw as you feel a sort of burning sensation taking your body.
fuck.
I was legitimately asking, like, if she's still invisible, where are you?
I thought it was like a small basin, not a deep basin.
I figured they were just giant wells.
You never got
they were
you never,
150 feet.
you never got close enough to look because you stayed away from them. You take 4 points of radiant damage.
Oh.
I'm down.
Oh no!
I drop concentration, and you see Sally floating in the water.
You see Sally's body. You see Sally's body sort of sinking and kind of sizzling into the water as she begins to sink inside this well. Oh, so now we are going to roll initiative.
Oh no, does Sally become the vessel for a pit fiend like all his other characters?
No.
Just karma, probably.
It is my superstition.
She did warn you.
You messed with the bones of the dead. Bad stuff's gonna happen. That's just what happened. You even got several chances. I checked this one. Oh, it's all good. I checked this one. Good. Keep it going. That was
I
funny.
like how she willingly stepped into a pool of holy water.
You made it. You made it a disadvantage because you were kind of semi-cursed because you were carrying looted gear from inside a ceremonial temple.
I'm leaving. I was not expecting that, and then I thought this was like a small basin, so I didn't know it was a 15-foot well. But
I told you that it's a 20-foot wide sort of pool of water, but you never got close to it. So, okay, give me a second. I need to roll 120 commoners.
God,
God!
Since we're in the main crypt, no, I'm not going to do that.
They're gonna form a chain of themselves, like monkeys. Pull you out.
Has its own character sheet.
Hold on a second. Let me put some.
So she does become visible as she loses consciousness.
Yes, she does. We just heard a splash, and then her body just floats up for a second.
Well, I'm sitting down, so I don't actually see.
Yeah, so she sinks. She takes the damage, and she is sinking. Walks can kind of see. So she's unconscious, and she's sunk to the bottom of this pool. Though you guys can see kind of steam and bubbles kind of erupt really quick, and Feria kind of ah! And she kind of backs away. Keelan.
Isn't that what happens when you dunk devils in holy water?
what do you do?
I'm gonna go see what's making all the bubbling and frothing.
You look into the turbulent water, and you see that Sally is now laying at the bottom of the pool.
I will wait 5 seconds.
Oh, bullshit.
Okay, so that's your turn.
Yeah, I will take this turn to reflect on the consequences of this decision.
Walks.
Hearing the splashing sounds, that's gonna get him up to his feet. Alright, what in the bloody hell's going to run along to meet Keel.
Yeah, when Walks goes, what's going on? He looks up and he goes, Sally fell in the water.
How did she...
He shrugs, he's like,
She tried to go all Jesus, but she's not Jesus. So.
At least we know she's not a witch.
Are you certain about that one?
No, it's scientific fact that witches don't sink; they float.
Is that the end of your turn, Walks?
Yeah, because he was on the floor, so getting up, that's half, and then 15 to try to meet around.
Just to be that guy, Ravenclaw, I'm going to say that this whole fiasco interrupted your ritual.
Oh, I was gonna say if I'm in the middle of it, then I'm still doing that ritual while this is going on.
Walks, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, 15 to get up and 15 to move around.
Okay, Ravenclaw is going to continue on with his ritual. Siren.
How the tables have turned.
I do not know what the fuck happened. You cannot use that to get through.
I get up for half my movement. Okay.
Just out of curiosity, not to cut you off, Carla, but I'm curious, what did Sally say before she fell in the water? Because she said a lot more when she got across. Did we just hear "Mummy" and she sunk, or what did we hear her warning of?
Yeah.
So we know how to react.
Did say there was the Mummy, but and I asked her if she was followed, but then she didn't answer, and instead she was like, "Where are you?" And then she stepped into the pool of holy water, and then.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Carla. Now the scene is in my head, right? Okay, sorry, I didn't cut you off. Go ahead, please.
Okay. That's 20. I'm gonna jump into the holy water.
you jump in,
Yes.
and you're floating up in the surface right now. Just note that you swim at half your movement, so that's the end of your movement unless you dash or use your action.
Yeah, I'll dash.
Does it boil?
No, she's not affected.
I'm an elf. I think I can get
Give me a perception check, Siren.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, her skin glows as if she's been using.
Oh God.
Oh wait, I should have done that at disadvantage. Let me roll again.
Yeah,
fine. We're going with the flow. You look and you see that Sally's actually bedecked in a lot more jewelry than she had on originally.
She's glowing. She's shiny.
You also notice that around her body she's kind of simmering in the water, which is really odd.
I guess I'm gonna try to pull her top half. That's all I can do.
Oh, you grab a hold of her?
Yeah.
You take 4 points of acid damage to your hands.
Ow! They let her go.
So you drop her, and you shake your hands in the water, and you kind of scream out, letting all of your held breath. As soon as you kind of let go, the burning sensation stops, and your hands aren't burning anymore. There's something really strange happening right now to Sally in particular, and she did run in here screaming "Mummy," so you don't know what's going on. But as you went down to try to sort of help lift her up, like, there's a reaction that's being had right now.
Okay.
Help me.
Well, I tried and it hurt.
I think that's her action. She let you go. You drop back down.
Thorn.
So it's my moment to get out. I'm gonna leave. I've got my rope, and I'm gonna leave that up there. I'm gonna take one hand with me as I jump into the pool, and then I'm gonna use my action to swim down to the bottom. But flavor-wise, I just sink.
Say that again. You drop the shield.
I have rope, 50 foot of hemp rope, so that somebody could pull somebody up. I'm probably gonna need someone to pull me out of here. I just sink.
Do you have the shield on your body?
No.
Did you say yeah?
I would have. I do not. I would have set it aside to do my rest, and it takes an action to don it or whatever. So.
Okay, cool.
I think it's just laying against the wall over
there. Thor burst into flames.
That would have been some more shenanigans. That would have been awesome. So what Marcy had here was the Mace of Light, the +1 mace that allows you to cast the light spell, or not the light spell. It just glows with light that helps you see. So if you guys took that from her body, then you have that, and then whatever else she has on her character sheet that she would like to type into chat for you guys. Go for it.
Yeah, because I said we would have just left her in her clothes because I was carrying her. So anything else item-wise, we would have taken with us.
Okay. Yeah, Thorn, you and you kind of hit the stone in the bottom, kind of cracking the fine mosaic tiles. But you see Siren sort of waving her hands in the water, screaming as she's now drowning, as she let out all of her the air in her lungs. And you see Sally unconscious, like her hands floating, and there's this sort of like she looks like an ice cube in a 7-Up glass. I guess that's like the best way to see it. There's like bubbles like, forming on her skin and then floating from her like a freaking Alka-Seltzer tab. And she's just sitting there, but everywhere else is fine except around her.
So I use my movement, my action to swim down there. I don't know if I can tie the rope using a bonus action or anything.
No, that'll have to be an action on your next turn.
Okay, we'll save it for the next turn.
Okay, Shawnee.
Without even standing up, I will just like a sit and reach and grab the rope that Thorn threw down on the ground and wrap it around a few times. And
okay.
So I just have the rope in my hand, so I can pull somebody up when they get them. That's it. I'm not even going to stand up.
Sally, you automatically fail a death saving throw.
1 or 2?
Just 1. Because
Yeah, you're not
nobody's
taking
unless
damage.
unless Siren attacks you, but I don't think she's going to do that. Top of round 2, Key Lim, you're sort of watching the show from the edge as you're contemplating what to do. Thorn has jumped in. You watched as Siren tried to pick her up and then immediately let go, and you see like the breath bubbles coming from Siren as she seems to be in pain a little bit. And now she's like holding onto her throat as she's getting ready to swim back up to the surface.
Well, so is Siren out of breath?
Siren is out of breath.
I will immediately jump in and save her.
Okay.
Okay. What has Sally ever done to the party? Other than
I think they're just teasing you right now, Chris.
Actually, all evidence shows that Sally is burning in holy water.
So
we're in hell.
Rope around Sally. She's good, but Siren, she looks like she's struggling. And Killian can get down there.
I hate you all right now.
He disappeared in the streets of El Terrell for a while and came back with very little explanation. You negotiate with devils. What have you done? I mean, I'm going to give you a list of things you've done that have raised our suspicions. You know, you're role-playing your character. You know what you've done.
I know, but I'm like, come on.
If you want me to roleplay my character, I will take notes on the drowning, and if you live, good. If you die, good as well.
I know where you live. I'm home now.
His name Caleb is a long dead monk, and he watches things die because he studies it.
This rescue siren, hurry up!
Hold on a second.
If the rope burns when Thor wraps around me, I'm gonna be upset.
Besides, isn't Sally a construct with her porcelain face? She should be able to survive underwater.
Okay, Keelim, you dive in. You grab a hold of Siren. You notice that she's sort of holding on to her throat, like she can't breathe. Do you just swim up to the surface with her?
Yeah, I will basically use as much movement as I need to.
Okay, so that's 15 feet down, so it takes 30 feet of movement for you to sink down to the bottom.
Use my action.
You're going to use your action. I'll just say use an object action to grab her. So even though you're moving at half movement anyways now, so you're going to swim back up for another 30 feet of movement with her as she's sort of helping you, and then you break the surface. And Siren, you're coughing out water as it was just something very unexpected just happened.
What the heck? What are you doing?
Caleb, that was your opportunity to give her the underwater breath kiss. You missed it.
Let's not get crazy here.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought he was going to do. And I was all for it.
Now, Caleb's got enough movement to bring them back up. Bring the both of them back.
And then are you going to drag her out of the pool, or are you guys going to buddy float?
I will drag her out of the pool.
Okay. You kind of drag her up to the lip of the basin and kind of set her there as you get out. Yep. Okay.
And as he gets out, Keelan will scratch at his skin because it's sort of irritated from the water.
You're a lot cleaner than you were, and you kind of hate it.
Walks will turn right around, go 5, 10, 50 with the rope, grab some of the slack of the rope, and we'll try to yell in, Thorn, tug on the rope when you have her secured!
Thorn, through the bubbling and splashing, you hear, you have no idea what they're saying.
I wonder if he can hear me. Before I look back at you like, do you think he heard me?
So now Shawnee and Walks both have hold of the rope, waiting for the Thorn tug. Ravenclaw is continuing with his ritual.
Ravenclaw looks like he's dancing around, speaking in Celestial, casting his ritual.
Are you like capering around the bowl?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm
just
completely distracted.
I'm just picturing like a court jester, like capering, like on tippy toes and moving. Give yourself a point of inspiration. Siren.
Well, I'm out of there now, and then I'm just like, when I grabbed her, it was like hurt, like I was burned almost.
Maybe it's got something to do with water. The water that's in this pool. He says as he's like itching these hives on his arms.
I'm not a healer, but you should probably get those checked out.
They're gonna have to
That's a nice thing to say.
They're gonna have to sanitize this pool for a week. Okay, you're just gonna hang up out top. Thorn.
I'm gonna see if I can tie the rope to Sally, and yeah, we'll see if we can tie the rope first.
You tie the rope around Sally. Ropes have 2 hit points, so the rope gets tied around. You tie it in a knot. You tug on it, and that gives Walks and Chani their chance to pull. And as she pulls, the rope around her waist sort of breaks apart.
So it was my action to tie the rope, so next turn I'll grab her and swim her up myself.
Okay. Shawnee, you pull and the rope goes slack as if there's no weight on it. And then you feel, you just feel it kind of go limp.
Okay, I will use half my movement to stand up and just step up to kind of see what's going on. That's all.
You look down and you see the rope trailing away from Sally and floating, and you see like parts of it kind of disintegrating. And you're watching now as Thorn is just getting ready to reach for Sally.
Okay, I figure he's got this then, and I drop the rope and go back and lean against the wall and slide back down.
Jesus. Sally, you have another failed death save.
Yep.
Top of round 3. Keelan.
Keelan will look down and he goes, she still hasn't come up yet.
But you see Thorn is getting ready to grab her.
And I don't want to go back in the water, so go Thorn.
Okay.
Jeremy, I'm on my way over.
Walks.
Okay, so the rope's gone slack. Crap. I'm gonna like drop in then 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh god dang it, I don't think I'll be able to cut again to Keelam's space and like reach out so as soon as something happens, like I can grab and pull.
Okay. You're gonna hold your action to grapple, and well, I guess you're. That's a weird one. I'll just say you're gonna hold your action to grab and pull. That's fine.
Yeah. All right.
Ravenclaw's dancing. Siren.
I guess I'll be next to Walks to help pull her up, even though I'm still like, well, hurt, but we can't let her die.
Okay, you're gonna hold your action. You're gonna hold your action to grab and pull.
Yeah.
Okay. Thorn.
We're gonna grab Sally and swim to the surface.
You take 4 points of acid damage as you grab onto Sally. And I'll just say it's use an object action just to grab her. You kick up 15 feet using your movement to break the surface of the water. Walks and Siren are holding their action to grab and pull. Both of you will take 3 points of acid damage.
Hold it on.
Do you hold on to? Do you hold on to her?
I'm gonna hold on.
Okay. And you guys pull her out of the water. We'll just move Keela Mira and Sally flops there. And you see the water sort of evaporating off of her as she gets reached up. Thorn moving to the edge of the pool.
I'll climb out next turn. I'll just kind of sit here in the water, watching what happens.
Okay.
Point. Don't you have lay on hand?
I gave all of them to Johnny in that last fight. Haven't had a long rest to recharge them.
Okay. Johnny?
Johnny, you decide if Sally lives or dies.
I do? How so?
She has 2 failed death saves, and you're the last person until it's her turn.
She can't make it over there and do anything, though, because it's half her movement to stand up, because she sat back down again.
That's
So
true. I can move 20 feet. 5, 10, 15, 20. I can get here.
Your exhaustion has killed her.
But, yeah, I mean, I'm still suffering from exhaustion, and I did sit back down. I could double move to get to her, but I can't then make a...
It was use an object action to grab me. You still have an action.
Who?
Thorn.
Oh.
Said that to grab me was a use an object action. But
She was just kind of floating there like a fish.
So Thorn has a regular action, and he just said, "I have a healing potion."
But he didn't take it. So this is going to be intense.
Well, it's like the reason why I didn't pick her up before was because it was an action to do it. That's why I had to wait a turn. Whatever.
No, because you had to use your action to dash over to her. Because you dropped here, and then you moved across or whatever to go get her. If I'm understanding that correctly. Because you used half your movement to stand up, and then you moved, and then you went over, and then you dropped into the pool, which took all your movement with a dash. And that's why you didn't bother picking her up. You said you'd wait till next time.
But then I tied the rope on as an action, it burned through, and then I couldn't grab her because that was an action. I tied the rope on last turn, and it was an action to tie the rope. It burned through. I would have grabbed her then, but grabbing her was an action, so I had to wait till this turn.
Okay, did you want to give her a potion?
Sure, let's give her a potion. I've been holding on to these forever.
I don't have any potions left, so I can't do that anyway.
Sally, just go ahead and give me a death save. Just for fun, see what happens. You would have survived. Go ahead and add another D4 to that, Thorn. Okay, Sally, you are back to consciousness. with a total of 6 hit points.
And I go here.
So, young lady, skinny dip in the holy water.
What was that?
What have we learned about trying to skinny dip in the holy water?
Fuck you.
And at this point, my dance gets more intense with my ritual.
Is he like metal headbanging right now?
So, back to what you were saying before you nearly killed yourself.
There was a mummy chasing me back where the sarcophagi were.
Question. How did you encounter this mummy?
Looking for supplies.
I look up and say, "You messed with the bones of the dead? And look what happened.
Supplies.
It serves you right."
Are you wearing all those jewelry?
Not wearing them. I put them in my pack.
You see there's one new ring on her finger that she just couldn't help herself. It's a very nice ring.
And where were you searching for these supplies?
Anywhere that I could. We are in hell. May I remind you?
You were grave robbing, weren't you?
So?
I'm going to use my inspiration to have advantage on this attack.
You're gonna punch her? Okay. Yeah, go for it. Does a 22 hit you even with your reaction?
He would have to beat a 19 or higher, but I have 2 hit points.
Alright, you take a solid punch to the face, and your head kind of snaps back against the stone column.
I should let you drown. Now I'm going to go watch Ravenclaw do his dance.
Do you think you would follow here?
The old woman comes over to you, Thorn, and she says, "That was incredibly brave, what you did. Let me help you."
Big woman.
The old woman is going to give you 9 points of healing from her cure wounds, Thorn.
I'm sorry, what in there? I'm sorry for the damage to your pool.
It is not my pool, it is the pool of the gods. And I'm sure that they will not mind it in the least. She walks back over and she picks up the book she left, and she's kind of holding it against her chest again.
And to Charnie's question, I think it went back to his resting place. It followed for a little bit, but I outran it.
Which direction did you come from, Sally?
To the west of here, where the ritual chamber, where all the sarcophagi were.
Is that up here? I don't know. I just wanted to go and listen to see if there was an approaching.
I came from the north. I came from up above, so.
Thorn, you immediately jump into action and move kind of away from the noise, and you watch and you listen intently, and you're not picking up anything shambling, moaning, or making its way over.
Whatever it was, it does not seem to be approaching. I suggest you sit and rest with the rest of us, where we can clearly see, in case it comes after you again.
I
We're
don't know if
sizzling up. You were inside there. It was almost as if it burnt you.
Don't know why that is. Probably have something to do with the mummy. I am not sure. But once it took one look at me, and I felt this presence, and I had to run.
Someone's going to collect his shield and his rope, and then he's going to basically sit next to Sally and be like, there, you can sit next to me.
You were warned about this, weren't you?
Spell Ravenclaw used a gem. I was hoping to find another one, perhaps for him to use again, hopefully, and to succeed.
Well, hopefully this baptism may have cleared a few senses.
I guess just let me know when an hour's gone by and my dance ends.
You're done dancing. It's fine. You have Nevermore back.
But we see him in his true form first, right?
Huh?
Yeah, true. I mean, Nevermore would become an imp before it used its action to turn itself into a raven. I think.
I think that's all up to you. It could come back at any form, I believe, but we'll let the DM make the ruling, I guess.
Let's see. Very familiar. The imp, blah, blah, blah. Invisibility. The imp, yeah, it has to use an action to polymorph into a beast.
So you summon a devil in front of 120 survivors.
That is true, because it has to use its action to turn into the raven, according to the imp stat block. So that's awkward. You hear all the commoners and even Feria kind of sort of gasp and back away, and they begin to move away from you, Ravenclaw. As your dance was strange enough, but now you've summoned an imp in front of them that quickly turns itself invisible and vanishes.
Somebody who summons devils and someone who burns in holy water, I'm sure they're feeling real safe right now.
And you hear the acolyte, what is the meaning of this? To bring something so vile in such a holy place, how dare you?
It is something
Oh, how dare you.
God.
And everybody is just moving away.
I'll probably just sitting on the ground looking at Shawnee. Remind me when we get out here to write a book. Not just an adventure book, I don't know, what do you think? 1,001 things to not do for an adventuring party?
Thank you for reminding me, Walks. And Keelan will pull out his journal and he will start recording their latest escapades.
The pages are a little wet. No, I'm joking. You didn't have it on you when you jumped in.
I am going to grunt and snore a little bit and fall asleep. Because I'm tired. And if that mummy shows up, I'm going to kill Sally first.
Yeah, the commoners are just staying away from you now.
God damn it.
Keelan's used to it.
I'm not!
You guys begin to take a rest. 8 hours passed.
I'll be right back.
Go ahead and heal up. You guys get all your stuff back.
Yay, my exhaustion goes away. Out of curiosity,
You guys
level
aren't-
up?
You guys aren't level 6 until you leave this place, so.
Oh. Okay. I wanted my 4th rage.
So you guys can't level 6 and be like, okay, we're all gonna go kill the mummy together. You guys have to leave, and then you become level 6.
I would like, before we do anything, I'd like to go see and make sure that mummy has went back to its rest, and Sally didn't release another evil demon creature for us to fight.
We'll just sort of like summarize it. You make your way back to that ceremonial area.
Forcibly drag Sally to where she saw it, to make sure that I know it's been put back to rest.
You guys make your way there. You do see that there's like some finger bones that are kind of like on the ground that have fallen out, but it's kind of obvious because they're sitting in front of sarcophagi. But none of these sarcophaguses are open. You do see that there is a long sword and 2 short swords that have been unceremoniously dumped on the ground, kind of in the middle of the ceremony chamber.
I will glower at Sally and crack my knuckles.
Hope we gotta wait for Chris to get back.
I'm back.
Key Lim has escorted you back to the ceremonial chamber, and he saw the broken finger bones that you have cut and kind of left on the ground before you close the other caskets, and he also sees the long sword and 2 short swords that you kind of dropped in the middle of the chamber during your escape. But you notice that there is no mummy walking around, and the sarcophagi are all closed. Keelim threateningly cracked his knuckles at you while kind of glowering.
Yes. He came from that one, and I put the sarcophagi.
He points to one in the inside.
She points at the sarcophagus, and I'm going to go up and punch her again.
Sally, go ahead and full heal. And then Keelim punches you again. Hold on a second. Okay, Keelan punches you. I think even with your reaction, he hits you. What do? It's just you two here.
Why are we over here by ourselves?
Because Keelan dragged you to where you said the mummy was.
I don't fight back. I don't.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage, Keelan. You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as he kind of slaps you with a little authority.
And I say, I can see that nothing is sacred in your eyes, and I will walk back to the party.
Okay. Sally, do you go with? I'll send you back there.
If I will pick up the swords. But they're still left on the ground. Because what I was going to do, I was going to see if they had any if they were magical in any way with tech magic.
Okay. So you're picking up the swords.
So can I detect magic right where they're at?
Yeah. They're not magical.
Okay, I will still expand the spell slot. I was just hoping they might have been that could have helped us out, but if they're not magical, I will just leave them where they're at.
No, they're not magical at all. You're going to make your way back? A little after Keelan arrives, Sally walks back.
I will tell the party, Mummy's not an issue. Let's go. Before Sally decides to cause more trouble for these people.
Please tell me you actually decked her one for good for earlier.
Oh, believe me, her tab is long and coming.
I will definitely help keep a tally on that too, if you'd like.
I am feeling a lot better. Even given the sadness of the previous day, somewhat chipper that we're all healthy and together, and minus Beta, who I'm still mourning, but it could be worse. We could have all perished. That fight was that day yesterday was touch and go.
Been fighting nonstop for what seems like almost. Well, actually, we did fight basically nonstop all of yesterday.
We did.
First day in hell was pretty rough.
Yep.
And now we have to head towards a cemetery full of undead. I look around at each one of my companions, kind of, and the next chance we get to rest, I might try to open, because that's what I feel like we didn't get a chance to. We didn't get to have our fireside chat.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to hearing more about Beta. But
Last night Keelan told about the story of when a group of grave robbers they broke into a mausoleum of the Utotans, which was just jam-packed full of skeletons, and he and his gravekeepers crew spent like a week cleaning that up.
Ah, that would have been a good story.
Right, who are the Utotans again?
A very famous family that was into necromancy.
oh,
That's right. I remember that.
Please, now that you're rested, please find Lord Ravengard. Bring him back to us.
we'll try.
And you see that she's still there, kind of. She looks a little bit rested. She's slept a lot more comfortably. Though while some company is strange, she took solace in others and your protection. So she looks a little bit more rested than she was. Still kind of holding onto her book and just kind of looking you guys over.
So how do we get out of here?
We go out the way we came in.
Head to the entrance chamber, and there you'll find a stone. It's a lever. If you pull on it, it'll activate a bell in the upper temple. It's how the priests ask to be released from this place when their internment is done.
Thank you. I will make my way up.
And I'm going to follow right behind so she doesn't steal from graves anymore.
So we'll say that you guys make it to the staircase. You find the lever easily, and you kind of pull on it. And it's like a small flat stone that you just put your hand in, and then you pull it down ever slightly. And after a while, you watch as the stone wall in front of you, they begin to descend, revealing stairs. You guys step up and you see Seltern the Druid standing next to the switch, and he's kind of smiling and he's looking, and then his eyes kind of grow with concern. Rhea turns and smiles as well, and she looks, and then Lulu looks really concerned as well, and Rhea's like, "Where's the other masked one? Beta? Is she still below?"
Sadly,
She's gone.
we lost her.
She rests in a better place now.
She is resting, hopefully, in a better
We
place.
thought for sure that the Raven Queen would
Don't
hear her.
take my thunder.
What? Thunder? What?
Well, Ravenclaw just repeated exactly what I said.
Oh.
Oh, I couldn't catch it. Sorry.
We thought for sure that the Ravenclaw or the Raven would spare her and give her more time, but alas, her soul was ready.
But a brother,
Forever faithful.
on a brighter note, these civilians are safe from the hellhounds and whatever else dwelt down there.
My heart is heavy, but you've just lifted my soul. We've secured this as best we can. We found Trevik, one of the guards. He survived. We were able to clear out some lurkers above. Seltern, if you could retrieve the body of their comrade and bring it up, I would like to place it upon the altar to bless it. Who knows what her soul may be going through. Seltern's like, I can do that. And you watch him sort of be-shape, and then he turns into a bear, and he begins going downstairs as you guys kind of tell him where the body's at. To be quite honest, I don't know what we should do now. We got here and we searched the entire cathedral, but most of the guards are dead. And I cannot find any evidence of Lord Ravengard here.
Actually, we were told that he was at one of the cemeteries with a relic of Norm, by this acolyte. I think. What was her name?
Farah, wasn't it?
Yeah, Farah.
Feria lives.
She died.
Torm be praised. No wonder most of the people down there survived. She's quick on her feet, that one. And if he went to the cemetery, then he must be looking for the helm.
The helm?
Yes, that is our belief as well.
He says they hadn't seen him in a day, so she's worried something might have happened. If he did have the relic, there's a chance he might have been captured.
Then I must ask you to go. Can you find him and bring him back? I will stay here and help protect those. Trevik, grab the crate of the food we found, bring it here. We must have some hungry people down below. Yes. Yes, ma'am, right away. And you see him kind of move off, and he's sort of lumbering back with a couple crates.
Wait, hold on.
Be sure the check is good, because food and water spoils quickly down here.
It's not food per se, it's just, well, they're communion crackers. Not much by way, but they are blessed, and they have held up.
Okay, that's good. I think that's an improvement to Ash tasting rations.
Church cookies.
I think Lulu should stay as well. There are children down below. I think she would be most useful here than with us.
I thought Lulu was our guide for... What was it again?
The sword?
Sword of Zariel.
Yes, but we're not looking for the sword at the moment. We're looking for the Lord, and he's looking for the helm.
I can stay here if you want, but I know I can help. Zings through the air.
Yes, but we need you for another grander mission. If something were to happen to you while we are doing this side thing,
And what do you think is going to happen to her, Sally?
I don't know. We are going to a graveyard full of undead. Anything can happen to them.
She quickly flies over towards Siren. And like a child, she's kind of buzzing around you. Look, I remember, look what I can do. And then she goes, and you watch as her truck goes up, and at the end of it, she's casting a really bright spell, and she's kind of waving it back and forth. I remember I can do it. I can remember I can do it. If I try hard enough,
have her with us.
if I try hard enough, I think I might remember everything else that's happening as well. And you see that she's actually getting really excited at the fact that she was able to regain a memory and ability that she had lost previously.
It's
With
amazing.
that, I think she should stay with us.
Great! Just wonderful that you remembered something useful.
It is at that point that Sally hears a meow.
Your fucking cat is still here. Just fucking
Slobberchops is hissing at you, and
maybe the cat should stay and play with the children and keep them entertained.
I find it very suspicious that you dislike this cat, Sally. He holds up Slobberchops to Sally, and he goes, "Look at this face."
Sally makes a good point. The cat could easily be hurt or put in danger. Maybe it should stay with the people taking refuge here. It would be safer.
She was
And I scratched the cat's chin because I love the cat and it's been a great companion, but I don't want to see it come to any harm, especially someone as experienced as Beta to harm.
Shawnee, I need a charisma saving throw. As Slobberchops looks you right in the eyes, and you watch as the eyes go wide and big and sad.
Oh no, it's doing the kitty eyes.
And you're like, I do want to leave it, but I kind of want to take him along, and you just have no idea.
Refuge. And then I say, but no, I can keep you safe. Come on up here, Slobberchop. You can come with me.
It just begins purring on your shoulder and just rubbing up against you.
There's enough room in my backpack for you.
I go to Sally again.
It's Slobberchops is got the name from drooling, right? So is this the cat drooling all over Chani and Keelim and Thorn?
That's quite all right. I don't mind.
Yes, Johnny, I think Slobberchops will be perfectly fine in your backpack. I mean, you've ran through fire and been cut to ribbons, and Slobberchops is perfectly fine.
That's true. Not a scratch.
Rhea, where's the quickest way to the cemetery? And we know it's the one left, apparently, to the west of here.
It's down the hill on the far west side of town. With any luck, there might not be left for you to face here. According to Trevik, in the initial assault, these last bands of demon that assaulted, or these last bands of devils that assaulted the cathedral, were some of the last on the western part of town. Most are driven back by the knights, and it seems most of the havoc is being reaped in East El Terrell. If you just stay low to the streets, you should be able to make it there in 10-15 minutes. I don't think there's very many obstacles in your path, at least from what we observed from the high wall. But she kind of lines out like a straight path to try to get you there as quick as possible. But it's still going to take you guys a minute of hard running to get there quickly, unless you take your time.
Thank you. And I believe we should go be on our way.
She kind of hands you guys a couple sackfuls of the communion crackers, and she's like, "It's not much, but it's something in your stomach. Take it with you."
This is most appreciated. Thank you.
After a while, you watch as the big black bear comes lumbering up the stairs. Securely on its back is Beta's body. Trevik picks up the crackers and begins to move down the steps as Rhea moves over towards the bear and lifts the body up. Now, with the hand open, you watch as she lays the body of Beta on the open, waiting palm of Torn's hand, and she begins to pray.
Well, before you, I do have a question. We found a body down below that was perfectly preserved.
Not the time, Sally.
I'm just curious.
Just
Right now, you see that she's praying and trying to do rites on Beta's body, so she's not answering you at the moment.
Okay, well let's go. Oh, sorry. Let's go.
Will you stop moving? Trying to copy paste you over here, and you're just all willy nilly.
She wants to get, and the cat's just.
The cat's with us, Lulu's with us, they're coming with us.
The cat just sits with his head, his fluffy head outside of Chani's back, just staring at Sally with menace as drool drips down, and I'm just glaring back at that cat.
it will occasionally lick its thumbs.
I would like to scratch Slobberchop's heads. Like, what is wrong with this? What's wrong with you? Look at this fuzzy little thing.
I bet she hates babies too.
I wouldn't doubt it.
The route Rhea told you guys to take is this. Which takes you right into the cemetery area. And you guys find that Rhea was right. The streets now feel truly dead. There doesn't seem to be a living soul about this place.
We don't even hear the sounds of battle in the city. I mean, I hear it.
There's a faint echo of battle, and it's more punctuated by large explosions that you can hear, like fireworks off at a great distance.
Okay.
And you imagine that that's the battle that's raging below. Occasionally,
So to us, it feels like the resistance in the city has pretty much been put down for the most part, and maybe there's not many people left alive. And I'll kind of... It seems that if there are any yet living in El Terrell, that they have hidden or given up the fight. This place feels like it's already dead.
Don't give up hope yet.
Well, let's hope we can find this helm. I think we're looking for a helm. Is that right?
Yep.
Well, we're not looking for the helm per se. We're looking for the guy looking for the helm.
The helm.
Yeah, I'm already doubting that he's still alive. But yes, indeed, we're looking for the Duke.
Now the Duke's got quite a reputation.
So moving through the buildings, you guys are you guys curious as you move by some of the buildings? Do you guys take peeks inside, open doors?
I get it to Sally that we do need supplies. I think even though this place seems dead, we should search.
Did we ever look at that sword we found just before we entered High Hall?
I don't think you guys grabbed the sword last time. I think you guys abandoned it.
No, we had to run.
As we do travel, I would have Nevermore kind of peek in and out, see if he notices anything.
Nevermore kind of flies in through open breaks and stuff, open doors, and he can actually see where there's people cowering and hiding, in cabinets behind little makeshift table forts that they've made inside. There are still survivors, but most of them are sort of hiding and not moving, scared to move. And you're thinking that the silence is due to the fact that there's nothing to currently hunt.
So we make our way through, or I go.
Okay.
But if if Ravenclaw just says they're survivors, but if there's nothing else, I say we just go.
I would mention that Nevermore is spotted survivors kind of hiding, cowering about, but it might be better that they stay in hiding.
There's nothing we can do for them right now, and it might be dangerous if they start coming back out on the streets. If we tell them to go to High Hall. They are probably safer where they are.
I'll just try to keep a note of which houses they were in. If we do find Uther Ravengard, he's probably going to head back to High Hall. We can pick him up on the way back.
Or we should look for a shop or apothecary along the way.
You
Doubt
gotta make
there
up.
would be any people there.
I'm not looking for people. I'm looking for supplies to keep us alive.
You guys move past the upper manor homes that have been built atop the hill where High Hall sits. And begin to slowly... Damn you. You guys begin to slowly make your way down the hill. The sound of the gravel underneath your feet is deafening in the sort of silence around you. And you guys begin to move down ever so slowly. Time is just moving past, but you're not worried about that. You guys are sort of in this extra vigilance mode of constantly looking around, and it's sort of beginning to tear at the very edges of your patience. It's almost to the point now where you're like, just something fucking jump out now, because the tension is just building and building and building the lower you guys get away from High Hall again. You hear a loud and you look over to the right as a large tear of lightning rips through, and you're watching as buildings explode as the lightning rips across from the large black sun that hangs above the city.
We might be running out of time. Let's try not to get sidetracked too much.
That's no moon, it's a space station.
You guys hit the bottom of the hill, and then you hear a deafening, like a large chunk of stone breaking off, and you look out towards the edge, and you actually watch as like a building falls from sight. And you're imagining that the city itself hanging above these plains sort of breaking apart from the stress of the chains and the constant earthquakes and lightning strikes by the companion in the sky. And you kind of pick up your pace a little bit. Sally, go ahead and give me a perception check as you begin to move around. Everybody else, too, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Yay, I don't have a disadvantage.
Sally, you're not finding anything that would lead you to believe that there's an apothecary or anything around. Ravenclaw, Thorn.
Terrible.
5, 6, 7. You're looking around and you're not seeing anything moving on the streets nor hearing anything moving on the streets. Right now, you guys think that you're pretty much alone as you're making your way through town here. But still taking the time, moving closely to the buildings and kind of sticking to what shadows you can find. Are you guys stealthily moving through here, or are you guys just kind of quickly trying to make your way?
Unless you guys recommend. I mean, we don't hear anything. It's quiet. There's no sounds of fighting nearby.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Yeah, but nothing's hiding.
I think I would have been moving stealthily until the lightning strike and the building fell off. Then I would have probably started turning.
Okay, Siren, are you trying to range ahead?
Yeah, a little bit since.
Go ahead.
Good idea, Rogue.
I'm gonna use my inspiration because I do not want to fail.
Okay.
Good choice.
You sneak ahead, and you guys just catch like barely glimpses of her as she's moving in and out, ducking behind crates very fast. And it's times that you forget just how fast she is when she's not exhausted and tired from full days of having to murder demons and other things. And you range off ahead and you look around. You don't hear anything that would give you away. Another hour of some stealthy sneaking brings the group up here next to what looks to be like a sort of marketplace area. Siren, you range ahead and you see the 10-foot high brass fence that once surrounded the cemetery has fallen in numerous places. And there's a wide gate just open, allowing access to the grounds. You sort of peer at it closely and you see that it's actually been torn from its hinges. There are severed humanoid body parts. You can't tell what they are, but you see that they are hung and impaled on the spikes still standing pieces of the fence.
Oof.
You sort of warily move closer a little bit, and you see now as some come into focus, and you're watching as like severed arms are wriggling and moving like a fish out of water. There are legs that are just harpooned onto the fence that are kicking. You can't see it, but you're probably imagining like the toes moving and wriggling as all these things writhe as if undead. And suddenly there's an explosion, and you look around again, and everybody looks around as more lightning rips through the town, more houses exploding. Cracked gravestones are sort of crumbling around as the ground slowly vibrates. And you see at the center, as the group begins to move towards you, a standing chapel. Give me another perception check, Syra.
Normal. Dang it. I have a 14 passive.
You kind of look and you see it's kind of hard. It's too far away. The lights and the shadows giving off by the sort of crackling lightning of the dark ball of energy in the sky, mixed in with the flames. It almost looks like it's playing tricks on your mind. There's like dancing shadows moving about inside the darkened cemetery area.
Okay. There might be somebody in there. I can't tell for sure, though. It's kind of hard from here.
We should go check it out then.
I can
What's your
send
guys'
more ahead to scout.
Okay, what's your guys' marching order?
I'll stay in the middle, since I will want to try and keep an eye on both ends of the group in case something happens to you.
I think we put Sally way in the front, and then Siren.
I'm gonna be in the back.
I think I'll stay in the middle as well.
I will be directly behind Johnny.
Alrighty, then I guess I'm somewhere in the middle. Slash, like,
I thought you're up front, Siren.
Well, if you're scouting
Okay.
ahead, yeah,
Okay.
then I've got your
Right.
back, but from 20 feet away, so I don't make too much noise.
No, Siren, we're following you. Push her forward.
Yeah, don't worry, I can get to you in half a movement speed, so
okay.
I've got your back.
You
He's
guys,
up there with you, just above you, about 15
okay,
feet.
so Ravenclaw is sending Nevermore out. Are you guys waiting for Ravenclaw to give you word of what he sees? Or are you guys moving slowly forward as Ravenclaw, or as Nevermore is ranging ahead?
Well, the last time Ravenclaw reported about naked Johnny and Sally in the bathroom, so we could wait for his report.
Okay, we'll say Ravenclaw, you close your eyes and you begin to see through Nevermore a sensation that you didn't realize how much you missed. And Nevermore begins soaring towards the wriggling, moving fence covered in body parts. And you see that it is a mishmash of elves, dwarves, tieflings, humans, different torsos, like sort of moving around, arms wriggling, heads, mouths opening and closing as the eyes are blank and milky, sort of looking around from side to side. Passing over the fence, you see in your way hundreds and hundreds of skeletons, zombies, sort of moving around.
Seeing this, I'll see if Nevermore can scout out like a route that might be a little bit clearer, or if they're just clustered all over.
They are everywhere.
Well, looks like no matter where we go, there's a mass of skeletons and zombies. Too many to count. There was a mausoleum that Sarun saw, though, right?
No, she saw a chapel directly in
sorry.
the middle. You send Nevermore forward. He is, I think he's still in range of... No. You can speak to him. Yeah, so you can't see through him, but he can still kind of fly out and then come back and report. He looks at the chapel. It looks to be intact, but a lot of the windows are broken. The front door is partially open, and there are 3 hulking skeletons moving around the front door.
Okay, so massive skeletons and zombies. 3 larger ones near the chapel.
I do not fear the undead. I have dealt with them before.
But in a mass?
You heard my story about the Utoten mausoleum. When they congregate, they are a serious threat.
Does anyone have any big AoE spells? And I'm kind of looking at Sally as I say this. Ask this.
Don't go hold up your shield.
Certainly you have a way to deal with multiple targets at once to weaken their forces before we advance.
And then as Thorn says that, I recall his giant fireball. It's like, yes, that would be perfect for the zombies.
I take a step back, remembering Thorn's giant fireball.
Her singed hair.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till after Thorn does something like that before. So even if we end up rolling initiative, and I win, I am delaying until after you take your turn.
Point me at target.
Okay, so Thorn, you're marching forward and shooting a fireball into a mass.
If that is what the group wants me to do, I will do that.
Okay, so you move forward. You hold the shield out in front of you as you kind of step near the gate. And you hear him kind of revel at the ability to sort of destruct and destroy. And he shoots a fireball into a mass. And you watch as a bunch of skeletons and zombies get incinerated. Give me a perception check. You watch after the explosion, and the smoke kind of clears. You look, and it didn't have any sort of angering or agitating effect to the rest of the undead inside. You decimated an entire group of 20. But you see the other ones not even reacting. They're just aimlessly shambling about, bumping into each other, and then moving along.
Perhaps we can just... Oh wait, we don't see this, never mind.
They didn't seem to react to the fireball. They're still just milling about.
Then perhaps we can just walk in.
And you watch as the void left from the fireball begins to be filled by just undead, just shambling and moving and stepping over the corpses of the fallen zombies and the ash bones of the skeletons. And they just sort of mill about. And it's strange. You've fought undead. You've fought against these creatures that seem to relish in the fact that they get to taste blood in their unlife. But these just, they're not doing anything.
Siren, go walk through the gate and see what happens.
Somebody keep eyes on Sally.
You let me know what to do, right?
Oh, Thorn, I need a wisdom saving throw, please. Thank you.
How close are we to the group or the undead? How close are we?
They're probably about 50 feet away from you, moving through the headstones away from the gate.
I use a divine sense to make sure that these are actually undead and maybe not some illusion or something else.
You use a divine sense, and these suckers are lighting up like Christmas trees. These are definitely undead.
So they're definitely undead, but they don't act like the undead I've encountered in the past.
Well,
I'm sure they will fall like wheat in a field under my sword, and I draw my sword.
Who is
Here we go.
proficient? Who is proficient in Arcana?
I am.
As am I.
If you're proficient in Arcana, give me an Arcana check.
perhaps we don't need to fight him. Perhaps we could just merely walk in.
Nope. Too distracted.
Lim, you automatically know, just from experience and study and what you were taught at your sort of morgue brotherhood, that undead need a will to control them. And you're thinking that the fact that these are aimlessly moving about is that nobody has yet to harness them and control them. They seem to have risen by some strange magic, but nothing is controlling them. They're just moving.
So these are the rare, naturally occurring zombies.
Yes,
Isn't
they're very organic and pesticide free.
Doug, isn't that a slight against Ravenclaw's beliefs? The dead should stay at rest, right?
Indeed. They need to be put back to rest.
This is very disconcerting to you, Ravenclaw.
Free-range zombies.
It's something on this level of dead being disturbed. I mean, you're looking at, you might estimate that there's like 500 of these fucking things moving around. And now you're thinking about like 500 of these souls that have been robbed of their eternal rest. And it's almost heart-wrenching in the amount of pain that it's causing you, especially the fact that your goddess would not want this to be. There's definitely something larger afoot here.
My guess is something at the chapel that might be being watched by the three larger ones might be the source. I must end this source.
Those of you standing near the front gate, give me survival checks. Well, I guess if you're proficient in it. Thorn, you see.
I'm not proficient in survival either with that.
It's fine, your 14 is great. Just being proficient helps. You look down at the gate and you see the muddied entrance, and you see very fresh looking footprints compared to most. They look like armored boot prints. A good sized party of them have moved through here.
High Hall standard issue. It looks like our person came through here recently.
Well, if these things are not a threat at the moment, we should go.
Siren, are you moving forward in front of the group?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how far forward are you moving?
Probably like 25 feet.
I'll have
Okay.
Nevermore stay above you.
You begin to creep forward. Go ahead and just give me another stealth check.
Cut off. What was that?
Go ahead and give me another stealth check as you move forward.
Okay.
Because it's been a while since your last one.
There we go.
Okay. You begin to move forward. You sort of look up, hoping to see Nevermore, but you're like, he's invisible. It just would have been comforting. You look behind you and you see everybody else, weapons in hand, moving slowly as you kind of range forward, ducking behind a small monument, looking around. You dash forward towards a large headstone, kind of duck and look around, and you see the bodies moving. You're almost on them. You see a sort of tree to the left, and you dash towards the tree, and then you sort of skid and stop as a zombie just walks in front of you. And you kind of quietly back up a little bit. And you see it kind of stop. And it's just like, it's like opening and closing its mouth, like its teeth snapping together. You slowly stand, and you watch as like the head kind of turns to you, and you're looking at the face of an old woman and these milky white eyes, and it just kind of before it begins to shamble and move away. And you kind of lean against the tree and take a deep breath.
Then there's another zombie right next to it, and it goes, "Siren." Is the path clear? See, they don't have any souls, so they just leave you alone.
You guys begin to move forward now, kind of as a group. Thorn and Chani, weapons in hand, moving forward. They begin to move slowly. You stop and let like a small herd of these zombies like move. You look over to the right and you see like sort of crawling on all fours is a strange ghoulish looking creature with a very long tongue just hanging limp out of its mouth. And you can smell it, and it smells so bad even from this distance, and you guys begin to move. The zombie kind of lumbers off course a little bit, knocked off balance. Chani, you kind of kick out at it to redirect it, and you watch it just falls down, and then it just begins to push itself back up, and it begins to wander, and you guys continue to move forward towards the chapel in the middle. Now just visible beyond is a small bit of smoke kind of rising from the backside of this chapel. And you see the large, lumbering, minotaurish-looking skeletons that are kind of moving around the front of the building. What do you guys do?
I want to fight.
I'm gonna have Nevermore kind of go to the building and kind of scratch at the roof to see if it causes them to turn or if they're actually acknowledging any sound.
You're scratching at the roof, and the skeletons cannot hear you.
Well, anything?
They didn't seem to react.
Then go to the door.
I was gonna say, do you guys mind if I try something?
Please try something.
Okay, I don't know if I'm within the range, but he's going to wave his fingers a little bit. And he's going to use minor illusion to create the sound effect of something walking by the window on the other side.
Can you link minor illusion?
Yes.
Okay, so you're moving to within 30 feet of the building.
I don't know if I was close enough or if I was anything close to something would be.
You're definitely not 30 feet. You guys are a little bit farther away, making your approach towards the building, but you guys kind of stopped a good distance away, seeing the large horned skeletons. Do you want to move closer?
I guess I'll try to risk it a little bit. I'll just look back, just watch my back, okay?
Okay, we'll watch it from way over here.
How are you moving? Tell me, how are you moving forward?
He's going to stay as low as possible, try to walk with his feet as light as he can, and if he has to, he'll actually get down on all fours and slowly, like army worm his way over.
Okay, so not stealthy if you're crawling over the gravel.
He's gonna be as stealthy as possible. He's not gonna crawl over anything. Just
go ahead and give me a stealth check as you kind of duck walk / bear crawl.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Oh, please.
Okay.
You probably see him scoot over to one area, inch to another hiding spot, then crawl onto another one.
Okay, I'm just going to make one roll for all three. You're crawling forward, and you watch as one head slowly looks to you, and you see the green eyes blaze, and then it lowers its head, and then it begins to charge, followed by the other two as you are 30 feet away from the rest of the group. We are going to pick up here next time in initiative.
Oh, God!
Mark, I have to say, it's a tie, right?
Yeah,
it's a tie.
So as a result of the tie, it stays the same as it was before the tie. Oh wait, that's for something different, isn't it? Never mind. I'm an idiot.
Yes.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, that's for a competition. Like if you're doing a Scrapple.
Because that's like, well, my AC is 16 and you rolled a 16, so nothing happens, right?
No, I thought that this was the same thing as the competition. But
it walks through all that stuff, and at the very last second, he steps on a twig.
They just kind of picked him up. They cannot hear, but they can actively see and search. So if walks would have been like, I cast a minor illusion 30 feet of a child dancing, they would have reacted to that, and you guys would have got the idea that they are living sentries.
Damn it.
So
we are at level 6 now, though, right?
yes, I apologize. You guys should have level 6 as we got out of there. So yeah, do make level 6. Marcy, go ahead and level up to level 6. Those of you that haven't rolled and want to roll, go ahead and roll.
Appraisers are ready to buy cars and trucks for top dollar.
I finally got a power that will actually make being an ancestral barbarian good.
I believe Thorn rocked it out of the park with a 12 on his roll last session. Yeah, because he maxed hit dice it.
We do have
so yeah, if you want to roll. If you want to take the average, I know some of you guys already took the average. Go ahead and just take the average. And then,
and that person was taken away.
Marcy, go ahead and send me your sheet.
Know at this point who the victim is.
I vote Siren and Ravenclaw.
Okay.
What's your new character?
It is a fire genasi, light cleric.
Okay. You guys got your cleric back, so that's good.
For now.
Yeah.
I honestly thought Sally was gonna die twice this session, which was kind of crazy.
So did I.
Yeah.
That was just karma for me.
That was edgy.
But I'm surprised I got a bigger reaction out of Carla at the beginning for what I did than anybody else, and that surprised me.
Hey, my mic was muted. You did not want to hear what I say.
Yeah, I think that's the same for all of us, Chris. I think you got a big reaction. You might just not be aware of how big you got.
I think I heard Doug say. I think I heard Doug say something like, "Oh."
Oh, was my finger on the button still? I thought it wasn't.
I think I heard a noise, and I just heard Carla just yell, "Oh no!" or something like that, and yeah.
I probably would have voted.
What?
I just sat there and I went, "Yep, I knew it."
Well, and I know that Jeremy typed in that's.
And you guys can't say Beta didn't warn.
That's something that should be whispered to the GM. But Chris did approach me earlier because he really wants to keep Sally in character, and this was totally in character, and he did a great job. And I told him if that's something that he wanted to do, it had to be public, and it had to be known. And I just think it's better that way because I thought the shock value was amazing. Minus me saying, "Well, nothing happened." Then you guys would be like, what? What the fuck? Why did nothing happen? You know? So I think it's a lot easier and we got past the can of worms knowing that there was something in the background that did it. So I thought it was great, which is why I gave Chris an inspiration point because he role-played it really well.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I was going to say that I was tempted to vote Chris for the inspiration for my vote tonight.
Ravenclaw also has inspiration.
I don't
from
want to give him any more help than I have already because he already spent an inspiration tonight, so he's been voted for. He doesn't need
Did you imagine one more damage point from that surprise round, and I would have dropped you when you drew his reaction.
Yeah.
Chris, your character is like a cockroach. Somehow you've been dodging death over and over.
He also
like a roach or a rat. You kill it and it keeps coming back.
On that con save that was a 12, he rolled a 12. So there was a chance he made that he could have missed it by 1. Yeah, he's gotten very lucky on that one. I would have loved to have seen Sally get mommy rot. That would have been fantastic.
Yep, cockroach
from Edgar. Really, you're comparing Sally to Edgar?
No, his name wasn't Edgar. The roach alien, the actual roach alien.
Yeah. They called him Edgar because of that suit.
Yeah,
they had like some kind of longer name for his race.
Sugar.
Sugar. I just love how there gets a point where he's just like, he doesn't even use his words anymore. At her, she's like, oh my god.
That has got to be the most evil thing that I've ever watched a player do to another player in the 29 years I've been playing D&D. That is probably why I will never allow evil characters in any party ever again because of what Chris did tonight. Ever again. That was horrible. Horrible.
It was a waste of a level 3 spell, that's for sure.
Was it?
It's not the worst evil thing I've seen an evil player do to a party, though.
Yeah, Revivify is level 3.
Mm-hmm.
Sally has
It's a
plans.
waste of level 3. It's a waste of a level 3 spell slot and 300 gold. Well, diamonds worth of gold.
Sally has plans, and Beta was not part of her plans.
Oh, that's fine. You're gonna love this next one, Sally.
She don't. Well, your character don't know what's going on, so.
No, I know, but
I'm sure
Sally,
Sally
you better
will
watch
love
your
this
back
next
now.
character.
People are suspicious, I think. The moment you get caught, I think you want to kiss this character goodbye. Have a backup ready.
Yeah,
just in case.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of sad that Sally really missed the shit talks we were all talking back when Beta was alive and how Beta warned Chani first.
I'm gonna stay in character, but I'm watching you, Chris.
First I killed goblin children, and now I made sure a party member stayed dead.
I know, it's like you're off the rails or something. Are you something going on in your life that's really got you down?
So I'm just saying, the best part about both of these things, with Sally counterspelling the Revivify, and with Lily killing the Goblin Child, is that Chris is playing his characters that he made to an absolute T. So yeah. Maybe
You keep asking why all your characters turn evil.
Yeah, maybe you guys will find out more about Lily next time. We're not quite sure, but she's currently sulking. It's okay. It happens. She did get a stern talking to by the other group paladin and Toril. So
Yeah, I had to admonish her. That would be seen wicked. That would
Callus
be
was with her on that one, and he has his reasons.
Cal's is like, I really don't see the problem here, but I mean, I guess shame on you. Like,
I was trying to picture the whole world setting and everything, and from the way you have the world set up, I feel like those dwarves and most other people besides our group probably would have pulled the same thing if they just heard goblin.
oh, if it was like a group of the dwarves, would you? Like, if you guys would have just left that and never found it, I probably would have described to you that there were 2 murdered goblin children that seemed to have been hacked apart by axes. The dwarves would definitely have murdered them, killed them.
That's the only reason why I didn't react the same as everyone else, because in the world setting and our character, with everything that we know, I think that actually would have been the normal, even for the paladins and stuff.
I mean, I'm no historian, but I can't draw a parallel to reality other than Nazis would kill children.
There were churches that put people to flame if they didn't agree with certain
Yeah, but
things.
not children though. Did they? Like little kids, like 6, 7-year-old
Yeah,
kids?
there are quite a bit of cults that would use children as sacrifices to their gods, burning them alive. Yeah, there's some horrible things out there.
Even the Mongols stopped short. Even the Mongols stopped short of murdering children when they conquered China. They didn't kill little kids.
The Mongols had respect for women, viewed them no differently than men, and children was definite, and I believe pregnant women. Children and pregnant women were generally off limits to most people.
They didn't kill the women, they took the women and raped them.
You're trying to again, like, because you've already said that you don't want to draw parallels to fantasy worlds into real worlds, so don't.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
I showed you a map of 8 fallen dwarf holds, where you can imagine that not a single dwarf, child, pregnant woman, or anything was left alive. So, if that
I guess there is.
Understand the anger, then that's where it's coming from.
I guess there is that Bible story where, like, God told His armies to go back and kill all the women and children in the town because they weren't done.
There was
there
was an archangel that actually did that too. Destroyed an entire civilization in one blow, set them all afire, women and children alike.
Zariel.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
no,
there was a
I
story in the
thought it
Bible
was
where
like-
one of the archangels, I think, Raphael.
I never imagined dwarves as being child murderers myself, but maybe that is a thing they would do if they wanted to like genocide a race. I guess I could see them do it.
I mean, if
they're really evil, yeah.
you read the history, the dwarves went to war against the elves because the elves shaved a dwarf's beard that was a messenger. So, you're talking about, like, don't think of them as human.
We're talking about one of the most hateful, most angry races out there. I mean, look at the Durga dwarves.
Okay.
Think of them as a different species with different things that guides them. Like, humans aren't guided by grudges hundreds and thousands of years ago, but dwarves are.
Yeah, because humans' memories are shorter than the dwarves. Yeah.
I was just about to say, I'd like to point out in Brave New World, we found a whole journal chronicle.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, look at the Durgods or whatever.
So
And it's my way of tying in the current world setting and making it more Forgotten Realms friendly, and it's a way to introduce races that are able to be played if I continue running games in that setting. So you'll see. I think you'll appreciate it.
No, I already appreciate it. I was just kind of explaining why Toro might be a gas. Like to him, that was where he would draw the line. That like an innocent can't be guilty of a sin.
Absolutely.
But I can see why the other races might not view it that way.
Especially as a half wood elf who's, you know.
But then again, if I start to view Lily's paladin order as evil, then I just have to kill all children that are Lily's belief.
And I mean, even Toro
keep them from becoming Lily.
If he delves into his half wood elf history, he would know that the wood elves used to ride out from the woods and they would call humans like they would a rabid herd and kill everything in sight within their woods and call it the Great Hunt. So
yeah, that Toro doesn't know much about it.
Wood elves are pretty savage.
The human side's cool. Like, yeah, the human side's compassionate, passionate, and full of healing. But the other side is definitely pretty bloody as well.
Yeah,
that's why I love Warhammer.
Don't worry, kid. I have a long role play that Talon just wants to have with Toro when we pick up.
So now that we leveled up, Lily's true physical form has changed again.
Lily, did Lily's boobs get bigger?
No. Not Lily, Sally.
You're like, Lily's physical form got bigger. I'm like, is she racking some new tits or what's going on?
Sally's true form is changed.
You're gonna have to describe that next time we pick up. Actually, describe it now because that would have happened in the chapel.
That would have happened while we were walking through the. Yeah, it would have when we woke up. You would have been changed.
While we were also pulling her unconscious body out of the holy water. Dive in.
Maybe that's what triggered her change.
Did you spread out some horns?
No.
She has a pee-pee now, doesn't she?
No.
Do you have a new picture, Chris?
I have her final form.
Oh, you need this form.
Well, I don't have an artist to draw her.
This isn't.
Did you go through like forms like Frieza?
Yeah, this isn't an actual campaign. It's just Sally powering up for the past like 13 levels.
Do you look like Frieza's third form?
No. When you see her next form, you know how in the bath she had extra set of arms. Well, next time you see her, she was gonna show you guys on our next fireside chat, but now she's reluctant to reveal her true self. She now her true form now. Her face cracks down the middle, vertically, and her face would split in two, and she would have two faces, and like half of it would be porcelain. The other half will be like demonic and fleshy and whatnot.
So we're gonna have to role play this, because if you look like that in the cathedral, I don't think Rhea would have let you live.
Well, you know how she has her. Well, okay, we'll talk, because you know how she's in her form now. She's hiding her arms and everything like that. But anyways,
Now are you hiding your face?
I pushed her too hard.
she's currently.
Are you like breaking out of that shell and showing your real demonic form underneath that porcelain doll?
She is currently hiding her true form. That's why she's still in the humanoid form, as you see her.
Oh my god, the first time we get some kind of potion of true sight, you're...
But yeah, and she would have two like venom like tongues, the long one. Yeah, it's she. I'm designing her to be more and more demonic as she levels up.
Was that the picture I sent you?
Yes, that's what she's turning into.
That's awesome. I approve. But yeah, you guys are dealing with that as well, so the hits keep coming. But I don't know. I had a lot of fun tonight. The drowning initiative was probably one of the funnest things I've been a part of in a while. So I had a hoot with that.
God, you guys took so freaking forever. Like, should we save her?
Can we just say that Beta secretly in spirit just shoved her in that pool?
That was because at first, if you were going to drink it to try to get hit points back, I would have just made you throw it up and have like stomach cramp. But you're like, I step in the pool and I'm like, oh, well, you sink. So I was like, okay.
Again, I thought it was like one of those shallow pools, where they do that, But anyways, it's my bad. Shit happens, and
no, I thought that was fucking great. I wasn't expecting it. And I was like, oh, this is awesome, and it led to a pretty fun 3-round initiative encounter trying to save you, and everybody's like, why is she boiling?
Why is she boiling? Maybe we should leave her in the water to see if she dissolves in it.
And it's especially a rational thing, because you were still invisible. Wax is literally trying to look for you to find out where you ran from, and you decided to try to slap him by going across holy water.
I wasn't trying to slap you. I was saying splash, splash, splash as I walked through. Like, here I am, you dumb, you idiot.
I would pop out of invisibility next time. He's not blind.
So,
thank you guys. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had fun.
Yeah, again, sorry, Mercy. Again, it wasn't personal.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. You're playing your character the way you designed her to play, so play it. Go
And
for
Marcy, I'll get in touch with you on Messenger here, and we'll discuss a way to get your new character in, like, as soon as possible. So.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, I have a quick question. When you make an attack with a torch, do you add your proficiency modifier?
I believe so.
Is it considered like an improvised weapon that would be similar to a club, and therefore a simple weapon? If you're proficient with simple weapons, you could add your proficiency.
Yes, it is a simple weapon, but the thing with the torch, it only does 1 point of fire.
Right. Okay. No, I'm going to make an attack with a torch, because I can fight with a torch.
Sorry, guys. Johnny, Ken, you voted for Siren and Ravenclaw for inspiration, right?
I did.
Did anybody else have any votes that they want to cast?
Okay. If those are the two, then let's go ahead and give those, unless you guys already have inspiration and want to give it to somebody else. Or you can just hold on to the extra inspiration, and I'll let you give it out during combat if you want, or whatever. I'll just leave it up to you guys.
Mark, I didn't. I had inspiration before. I didn't know you gave me inspiration for casting counter spells. So do I not have inspiration?
Yeah, go ahead and keep one. That's fine.
Okay, so I do have.
Screw it. I'm just gonna say you guys can stack inspiration if you want. Like whatever. We'll just roll with it.
I just want to confirm. I didn't want to cheat or anything like that. So, all right. Well, that was fun.
All right,
Good
night,
night,
guys.
everybody.
Yeah, Ken. So it says that torches